What's going on, traders? How we doing out there? Ready to get to the trading action? Ready to talk about what happened overnight and Trump deal, no Trump deal? Who knows? Um, Definitely taco trade, man. Uh, this guy Trump, man, he just keeps saying we have a deal. There's no deal. There is another deal that was announced today, but for rare earth. Thought that was included in the deal, but you know how it is, guys. Still a lot of talk out there, not really much walk in that deal. But let's get to the action. We'll take a look at some stock trades out there. Of course, you guys see the little spooky background. Hope you guys are having a good Halloween, getting ready to go. Of course, that's going to be kicking off tomorrow, but we won't be here tomorrow, so thought we'd have a little Halloween special today. All right, let's get to the stock market action. Yesterday wasn't the best day for me after I got on a little bit of a rut with the 25K account, just started trading a bunch, and then eventually had a kind of a disaster trade. But hey, that's how it goes sometimes, man. Um, and it's right now I'm just not as focused, and that can come into play. The SPY though turning around after the earnings, the big tech now actually causing this rally to come back. This is why I like to buy into going into the earnings, not after the earnings, because now things have changed in the market, and they're starting to be concerned about AI spending. Now you're worried about it? I'll talk a little bit more about that, of course, during the show. Let's keep going. Let's get to the sunrise report. We'll talk about what's going on as stock futures edge lower on Thursday as investors digest a heavy state of big tech earnings and awaited more clues from the Fed's next move. Losses were softened by Trump and Xi's meeting, wrapped up with a small symbolic trade win. Don't know if this was the actual deal that we heard was done. The day, of course, after the mega cap recorded, investors were left weighing about AI optimism as ballooning costs. As Apple here soared 9% after a monster earnings beat, but Meta sank 9% on heavy AI spending. Microsoft slipped 2% after flagging higher capital costs tied to OpenAI. So the AI spending is real, and so are the bills. Trump and Xi on the trade front. Tensions between the U.S. and China eased. And this is why I don't like trading the China trade because there's so much headline risk. Like this yesterday, this was looking great. Now it's just getting crushed, right? Tensions between the U.S. and China eased after President Trump agreed to cut fentanyl tariffs to 10%, while President Xi delayed new rare earths export curbs by a year. I don't think that's anything new that we had at least heard, but it did react to some stocks. I do see some rare earth stocks trading. I'm actually in LAC right now. We'll see if that trade works out towards the open. The rare earth issues have been settled, says Trump, and the U.S. tariff rate on Chinese imports now drops to 47% from 57%. While China is pledged to work very hard to stop fentanyl. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're working very hard. Resumed U.S. soybeans purchases. Rare earth stocks bounced on the news as U.S. Rare earth USAR with a nice little bounce back. MP Materials up 3% too. Those are all names that we could trade today. Powell pulled back on the rate cut hopes, and this is causing the market also to get a little bit of a shake as the Fed delivered its expected 0.25 rate cut, but bringing the benchmark range to 3.75 and 4%. But Chair Jerome Powell poured some cold water on the hopes for another cut in December. A further reduction in the policy rate is not a foregone conclusion, far from it. The remark helped send the Dow and into the red, and while it put the Nasdaq also, it held up the tech strength. Earnings roundup. Let's go to it. Let's take a look at Google. First up on the dock today. Google up about 7%, ripping higher, new highs and continuing, almost 300 now. EPS at 310 versus 233. Revenues at 102.35 billion versus 99.89 billion. Cloud and YouTube were standouts. Let's go to Eli Lilly now. Let's keep it going. Let's going to go a little bit fast because there's a lot of earnings reports to talk about. This another good one here as the EPS at $7.02 versus $5.69. So really good outlook here. They raised full year outlook and red hot demand for anti obesity drugs. Well, we'll see what happens there. Can it continue going? Of course, with the recent mentions that Trump has made, I think this trade can keep going. So if you look at the monthly chart, this is why I always say they dip them before they rip them, and that's exactly what's going on here in Eli Lilly. Let's go to Comcast now. CMSCA. We'll see what happens on this trade. But wrong one there. There we go. There's Comcast going down. And this looks like a head and shoulders really showing disaster. Yeah, this does not look good on the monthlies, guys. This looks really bad here for Comcast. And they're starting to lose altitude. And maybe it's the competition that's coming in for broadband as T-Mobile has really stepped in and started to take more and more lunch away from Comcast. Their EPS, though, um, came in here at $1.12 versus $1.10. Revenues at 31.2 versus a 30.7. Universal Studios and Peacock did help fuel the gains, as of course Universal Studios has a new park that I haven't been to. I might have to check it out, but I heard the trees are like kind of new, not much shade, so got to wait for a little bit colder weather. And for Florida, that means November and December. Advanced Auto Parts up 24%. EPS at 92 cents here versus 75 cents. This is AAP, of course. And this stock in the auto parts area hasn't really done well. It's a rare bright spot here as it is bouncing back, but we'll see what happens. I mean, this had tried to get back through the other earnings high. Let's see what happens on that 70. If it really wants to get going, this is one stock that we can keep on the radar, especially if it's above, let's say 63, 64, starting to make a move to 65 and 70. All right, let's go to Estee Lauder, Estee Slaughter, whichever one you want to call it. Estee Lauder continuing going higher above the 103s and just showing you that household and personal products, even the expensive ones, are making a comeback. So this goes to show you that, yeah, we might have a little bit of a retail rally here. EPS 32 cents versus 18 cents. Revenues at 3.4 billion versus a 3.3 billion estimate. Beauty bouncing, led by, of course, Bobby Brown brands. Don't know what it is, man, really. But Estee Slaughter there in the lift. Let's go to some of the losers here. Let's take a look at Meta, as Meta's on the downside off of AI spending. EPS beat expectations, but raised AI capex to 70 and $72 billion. Trump's one big beautiful bill also triggered a $15.9 billion one-time charge. Not what you want to see, right? Microsoft down 2%, EPS beat, but CFO warned AI spending will accelerate and OpenAI drag costs $3.1 billion. So that's why Microsoft is pulling back. And I kind of mentioned this, right? We'd get up to the high and then we'd pull back. Now you get that cup and handle look. I'd actually look for it to undercut 520s first and then start coming back around 520s. We'll see what happens there. Let's keep going. Let's go to Merck, MRK, as that's getting a hit down on the downside. Drug manufacturer, major one here. EPS at 258 versus 235. Revenues at 17.28 billion versus 16.9 billion. Keytruda missed slightly, 8.14 billion versus 8.24 billion estimate. So there you guys see why Merck is down here. Let's go to MGM Resorts as we take a look into the resorts and casino trade. This trade was hot, now really starting to fall off. MGM at 24 cents versus 40-cent estimate on EPS. Really bad EPS here. Revenues at 4.25 billion. Weak Las Vegas demand hitting the profit. So I know I recently had a friend that went to Las Vegas, said it was still packed. Well, it seems like they're not making the money that they need there. Let's go to Starbucks. Starbucks on the downside still hasn't been able to get the lift from, of course, uh, still hasn't been able to get the lift from, of course, the Nicolo, um, Nicolo, the new CEO, right, that came from Chipotle. But Chipotle seems to be on fire sale as it's down to 32.28, down 17%. Cut same store sales forecast again. Foot traffic fallen for the third straight quarter. This does not look good for Chipotle. All right, let's keep going. We'll go to Sprouts as one of the names that I wanted to take a look at here. Sprouts getting the big hit right back down. This thing was all the way up there to almost 200. Now it's an 82. This is almost a 60% haircut from the top, and just goes to show you that it's not going to be just easy in these grocery stores. This thing made an insane rally in 2024 and 25. This is why you also got to take gains, guys. Imagine if you were in Sprouts and you got 233% on the upside, and you just gave up about 60% of that. Well, that's why you got to take your money and run sometimes. All right, we'll see what happens there. Last one up is Cleveland Cliff, down 9%. This is one name that we were just trading just yesterday for me. And look at the quick reversal there. So earnings coming in here. Essentially, what they did is, oh, it's not earnings. They did 75 million shares to pay down debt. So this, of course, a big wrench in the steel trade. We'll see how this turns steel trade around. Can steel dynamics hold on, or will it come just crashing right back down? Same thing with Nucor. There's still eBay, Carvana, Shake Shack we can talk about. So if there's any name that's on your list that you want to talk about that maybe we didn't cover in the earnings, go ahead and throw it up. It's good to see you out there, Jim Z and others. Alexander, can you take a look at Lilly? Yeah, we can take a little deeper dive at Lilly. I've already taken a little look into the earnings, but we can dive a little bit deeper if you want to take a look at that. Alexander, do you want to know more about the chart or the earnings? Let me know, because there's other ways that I can look this up. Maybe you're interested in more of the fundamental data. It's good to see you out there, Dorothy, and of course, Jay Angelo. All you guys, if you're new to the show, say hello. It's always good to see you guys in the chat. Of course, today is our Halloween spooky special. We'll see what happens. Maybe we get a little spooky action in the market. I'll tell you one thing, Microsoft and Meta definitely spooked this market. So let's start that countdown. Let's get to the trade in action and see what we can come up with today.
Google wants 200, baby!
You ready to get back to the trading action?
You aim, you shoot, and make money. It's going to be a great day. You guys know where you're at.
All right, guys, let's go ahead. Let's keep going. Let's bring on the man, Michael Knopf. What's going on, man? How we doing? Welcome to the spookiness. Do they celebrate Halloween in Canada?
Oh yes, of course. It's all the same.
I was wondering because not everywhere do they celebrate Halloween. At least,
Yeah, I guess not that big of a deal in Europe. I heard somewhere.
yeah, in Europe especially, But
no, it's great to grab the kids out and go do some cool stuff.
At least you guys have the colder weather, so I think that actually helps. Because all these costumes are usually like these huge things, just like covering you up. In Florida, you got to think about that because you don't want to be sweating your life away in a costume.
And it's just wild that it's after all this craziness in the market, everyone thought everything was going to get spooked out, and then I open up today and we just haven't moved at all. I just couldn't imagine. I talked about a rule that I have that I don't even really look at FOMC stuff.
Yeah.
But just watching those candles, we were down like 0.5%, then we were up 0.5%, and then we closed like essentially flat.
It definitely chopped me out of my swing trade too, because it just took like this quick dip. Yeah. I just look back and I just see this like huge wick to the downside. I'm like, crap, what is going on? Because I was just like kind of just peeked in. And I had to get out, man. I had to get out. It's probably a scare, but that's how it is. Sometimes just because the overall market just starts to mess with you, you can cut out of a trade, right? And
Well,
so
and it goes to show why most places will, like, report earnings and do other things like that outside of market hours,
out
and probably why it would make sense to do this kind of shit outside of
right?
market hours too,
You're
'cause
speaking to it, man. I don't understand. Why don't they just do this after hours, right?
yeah,
The
because he
market
says,
will
like,
react 10
one thing,
times
he
better.
goes I think the thing that spooked everyone is he said something about, "Oh, it's not a certainty that we're gonna cut in December," and then the market just falls apart 0.5%. He goes, "Yeah, but we're probably gonna cut." It just rips, and it's insanity to me. It's like, okay, halt, find every time, do it on the weekend, like, get to
Yeah,
work on the weekend, do something where everything's calm and chill, and then gives because the way I was always taught, one of my mentor would always say, is it's always the third day after FOMC that matters. It's like the day
yeah,
of is just nonsense. It's people trading on every single word the dude says, and then the day after there's still a lot of like digestion of what happened and all that kind of stuff. And so his thing was always he would take the Wednesday after the open. He'd only trade the open. He'd take the Wednesday off. He'd take the Thursday off, and then he'd come back on Friday. And he's like, that's when institutions have finally digested what has happened and have decided what bets that they're going to take their bet on. Where am I going to buy? Where am I going to sell? What's kind of affected by these things? Right, with another rate cut, we had biotechs, but then biotechs kind of fell off a cliff because there's not more cuts going on. So yeah, it's just I do not like these times of what once a quarter when we do this. It's just no fun. Not a fun way to trade.
all right, just checking in. Looks like Kevin will be out today, so just letting you guys know. Looks like he has something he has to take care of. Hey, best of wishes to you, Kevin, and if you hear us out there. Let's keep going. We'll see what happens out there, and definitely ready to trade a little bit.
Mhm.
We did get a question about Eli Lilly's chart, so we'll take a look into that. Dorothy also asking about something here. Let me look. How do you figure out levels of a trade? Okay, well, we can do that with Lilly, right? Let's go take a look at the chart. Let's take a look to see what happened. Of course, this one had earnings report that just came out. Nice little numbers that came in here.
Yeah,
Of
nice
course,
pop on that.
not as hated anymore as a Trump name, right? And so we'll see how the chart looks. What do you
So,
see here?
full disclosure, and I'll always say this: I own some from around 725, 750, I think. On the basic idea of there was a super clean support here at like 700, and we dipped back down and then just ripped right back through. So I'm in there thinking that we're probably going to hit 1,000 at some point. But you zoom in just on a weekly chart, just kind of looks like a little bit of a bull flag here that this earnings might be breaking us out of. So looks great. That should maybe bode well for healthcare as a whole. That's been a bit of a laggard for this whole area. You can see, yeah, healthcare is actually gapping up a little bit today, probably because Eli Lilly is such a heavy weighting in there. So chart looks good. Nice little breakout. So obviously, you don't want to chase after earnings. I think the most important thing is what does it do today when the market opens? We talk about this all the time. Do large institutions come in and use this as a potential sell? Do they run in and say, okay, yeah, we're getting a good gap up on Lilly, let's sell it? Or, do you get some sort of sideways action, something like that? So a great looking chart overall. You're gapping up a lot of resistance, but the big guys haven't stepped in to do the earnings report. It's always retail and smaller institutions that trade in the pre and the post market because they just don't have the liquidity. So you need to wait till things kind of really get going and really, really open up there.
We will see what happens there with Eli Lilly. Get your weight loss drugs before they go,
It'll be
especially
interesting.
after
I read
Halloween and all the candy.
that's what to say after the candy, but in what's January that they all become generic.
Yeah,
That will be
yeah.
interesting. Obviously, right? That's going to be priced in because everyone's known that they're going to become generic already for a
Yep,
long time.
that's the end. I don't know if it's priced in though just yet. I don't know if it's priced in just yet. I
You
think that's
don't
the
think
beginning of the turnaround in Eli Lilly, but we'll worry about that then.
you don't think that Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley know that that's going to have already affected their cash flow models based off of it? You'd
I
be
mean,
surprised
this.
what's
I think
trading
the
there?
stock price would be different, man. I don't think even belongs up here at 900, at least valuation wise. But hey, it's whatever, man. It's fundamentals, right? Fundamentals,
Palantir
fundamentals.
Palantir ripped yesterday. I had a
Yeah,
good
exactly.
quote.
I don't believe Palantir should be. If you really look at the fundamentals, Palantir should be more like a $50 stock, not a $200 stock.
Yeah, it's trading at like
But
700 times sales. That's why if you
yeah,
want one reason why I don't look at fundamentals, uh,
fundamentals, schmundamentals, man. They only matter when they matter, and that's very few times.
very few times. Ride the
But it's just more about, well, this market might go into a little bit more of value focus and quality focus. We were seeing the RSP show a little bit of that just this week. There was like kind of that day where tech just completely like outperformed every other stock, right? So these are just things to be, looked at. Is it a flight to quality? Is it that time where finally the euphoria in the market might go away? But doesn't mean the market needs to completely crash because there could just be that flight to quality, right?
I think
So,
it's really just more of what's reported, right? We're seeing, right, and the reporting was certainly mixed. And Microsoft and Meta obviously had a bit of a bad time, and then we
yeah,
had
but
Google that had a great time.
It,
So
it and that's just the market. That's just kind of like it really when you look at the reports, what's different than Google's and Microsoft? It's really not much. It's just one's going to do good, two are going to do bad. They're not going to let three do bad because then that would mean that the market would be down big. So
well, and it just shows, that it's all about what the surprise is, right?
and there wasn't really much surprise. It's just ETF effects also coming weighing in. They're buying up Google, selling Microsoft and Meta, right?
Well, and
That's
yeah,
that's the way
so
they keep
Meta,
the
um,
SPY up today.
Meta missed earnings, and that was a one-time thing, but by 84%.
Yeah, it
Mike,
was a 15 billion one-time charge that kind
yeah,
of ruined the numbers, right? Um,
Microsoft missed by a little bit, and then Google just kind of beat the pants off it. So I think the main benefit there is because we all know what the fear with Google. Yeah, Google crushed earnings by 25%.
no, but there's Comet now, bro, and there's OpenAI browser, and search is done for Google.
Yeah, well, that's why Google. That's the best rap of why Google is ripping so hard is because people sold it on the fear that no one's going to Google anything
No
anymore.
one's Googling anything anymore,
It's
guys.
not.
Yet it's at all-time highs and just complete rocket ride.
Yeah, they're just going to
Yeah,
come up with their own AI.
this is
Um,
this is what when you pay attention to the media, this is what the media was trying to feed you that the search was done in Google. The search was
Also,
done.
of course, these ones are on lists for me for my AV WAP reversal.
Ooh, AV at reversal. Why not?
We can get through this one on Meta, and we can get through this. Microsoft's actually been way better. It's crossed through, so I don't. I'll probably take Microsoft actually off the list, and then same with Google. We can just fade these. Google looks like it would have already triggered in the pre-market. It's unfortunate, but if we can fade these moves as well. Someone asking, how do you come up with the levels for a trade? Right, technical analysis, I always say, is only good at really two major things: it's trend and where did buyers and sellers come in before. And that's all you're looking at when it comes to levels. I will say, finding your levels is probably the least important part of trading. Most important part is risk reward and staying with trends and having a system in which you can do. But when people talk about levels for a stock, they're generally just looking at see what I drew out here, right? This was a top for Google here, and then support right here and back and all that kind of stuff. So um, just find areas that buyers and sellers kind of fought before, and just take the other side of those particular areas. But yeah, just for me, one of the least important parts because the most you can't just there's no way to determine if a level is going to hold or a level is going to break or anything like that. All you can do is the kind of bare minimum to that and say, okay, well, when the level reacts, then what? Right, and that's where all the devil's kind of in the details. Right? It's like if it hits a level, well, then what do I do? And that's all of the things that will actually surround a trade as it happens. But speaking of levels, take a look at the SPY. And for me, it's just again pre-market high, which we're a long way away of, And then we have this pre-market low, which actually lines up pretty well with the FOMC low. And those two zones, I think, will be the most important. And then just for context for people who, like, I've heard words like people falling apart and blah, 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 and all this craziness. And it's like we're at levels not seen since Monday. So everyone's got to calm down, right? We're at the same price. I wouldn't be surprised if we come all the way back into this 673, which is just this prior zone that we broke out of. We kind of come back here and then we test that zone and start to push higher. All of that would make absolute perfect sense to me. But just don't. There's been people who've been every time we downtick saying it's the top, and at some point they'll be right, but just don't fall for it when they say, "Oh, I knew it was going to be the top," because they've probably called the top 17 times to be right one time. So, is
Yeah,
this,
no,
could it be? Yeah, it could always be, but
it's a lot of it has to be like the bar was set high. Like I talked about that yesterday with Microsoft. Like that's just a part of it, guys. When stocks run like this into the mega cap tech earnings, what do you expect? You don't expect the bar to just keep going. The bar got pushed back. That's all it is. I'll tell you one thing though. It drops the bar for Apple tonight and
that's
Amazon.
that was going
Right?
to be my next point. Is that was a lot of earnings and they were mixed. So there's no real clear direction from there. But that's not right. We've got another big night tonight.
Yeah, it's
So
another. This is how they love to do it. They want to shake you, and then they really want to get ready for maybe Amazon that's off in the ditch, right? Apple's at all time highs, but Amazon's nowhere near. And maybe this is the report that just gets them right back to all time highs, right? It's
yeah,
not
because
too
if you
far.
look here, Amazon, Meta, Coinbase, MicroStrategy, Reddit, .net, Roku, 20 and 27 other names. Right? So lots of names here. If we just scroll down, huge amount that are coming through today, and then even a bunch more tomorrow. Nothing huge, but so that was kind of, I think, although the banks I would argue are always going to be the most important. But
Hmm.
yesterday, I'd say that was the real kickoff to earnings. And then we've got a whole bunch next week. Right? We've got Q1, big deal. So
so
no,
So I just wanted to take a look there at like I just mentioned, would Amazon get to that high? The expected move's 8.6. So that puts it right over that.
right?
You know what I mean? It's six. It's like 7% away from it. So I think perfect recipe to just send it over the all-time highs with the earnings. We'll see if it gets there, or maybe it just gets right underneath the expected move, like 6%. But that will be right there at the all-time highs, right? So. It's time to see Amazon, Apple lead the market. We'll see.
Well, and I think Apple's going to be a huge, important, um, huge kind of important name when it comes to the market, not just because of the market cap and
Hmm.
it's big percentage
Yeah.
of the name, but it's also we're kind of split right now. We had some big tech that did good, some big tech that did bad, and a lot of people. The reason that we're talking about this mixed thing is that a lot of large, fundamental guys and hedge fund managers and all this kind of stuff, they'll take cues off of this. So if earnings, which last earnings season, like everyone beat and it was amazing, so the market just ripped while people readjusted. We're going to get a mixed bag where some earnings are going to be great and some earnings are going to be poor. That might lead to just a mixed bag of the market, which is just
Hmm.
some. If you have different market components moving in different ways, what that means for indexes is a whole lot of nothing. You get a lot of choppy action, but what it means for us as traders is that there should be plays on both sides. There should be both longs and shorts to take advantage of, which as a trader you should be really excited for. Right? It should be one of those where you're excited that you could be able to maybe swing a stock long and swing another stock short.
It's not a bad way to go about it. Catching up with the chat there. I see some comments out there. Just looking around. Some smaller names mentioned, of course. We'll see what happens with those. It's 9:16. Getting ready for the open. And we'll see what happens, man. Interesting market to say the least. And China deal, no deal. Well, that's why I didn't want to trade China yesterday. Headline risk, and then today they just gap it right back down on the China trade, right?
Yeah, and it's you don't trading while they're having their meetings, right? It's 2%,
It's
it's not
just
a big deal. But it's like why when he's and I know we had Steven here who likes to YOLO into these events, but there's gonna be it's just you have a it's the same as YOLOing a stock into earnings. They're either gonna
oh
do a
man.
deal and everything's gonna rip, or they're not gonna do a deal
But
and
there
everything.
was a deal already. He said there was a deal on Monday.
Did it? I didn't see.
That's exactly what was said. It was literally, I have a deal. The deal's done. Then it comes Wednesday, and then there's no deal. There's just rare earth connection and this. These are the kind of things that we get from our president. It's just like everything's a lie.
Well, and that's why people and again, if this happened, I know there's a lot of people that weren't trading the last time we had a Trump admin, but the
Yeah,
same
man.
thing happened.
The
And I
the
always like to
taco
go back
trade,
to
as
these
they
charts.
call it, right?
If you go back, you don't have to go back very far. You go back to 2000, you just cut out COVID, and you
Yeah.
look at everything before COVID. And this looks quite a bit like the tariff tantrum that we've had. In fact, it was almost identical in the move. And this isn't COVID, this is 2019, right? 2018, 2019. Again, I'll always remember this because this happened during Christmas and really ruined the Christmas for everyone. And then he came out and he said, okay, this was, and the reason I say it's the same thing is it was uh, trade wars with China. It
Hmm.
was bullying J Powell on Twitter to lower interest rates. It was the exact same textbook. And then what happens is people get used to it and they kind of get desensitized. And a lot of people forget that right before COVID, 2019, this was the lowest volatility, like 3 months on record. There was never a chiller time in the market. And then COVID happened, and of course, all that happened. But so if we're saying that this is the current market, we're what, probably around here in the current market. So maybe we're going to start doing this where we just enter this choppy range while all this kind of trade war and everything stuff is worked out, which for people who just buy and hold indexes, this sucks. But if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, the market didn't go anywhere during this period of time, even though some of these drops were 6, 7, 8%, 9%. And at the time, you better believe all those people trying to call tops now were calling tops here. And then everything got, the market gets desensitized to them, and up we go. So if we want to make a market analog, right, this would be the tariff tantrum, this would be the bounce after the tariff tantrum, and then we're probably going to enter some sort of choppy range of market, which is very common for just what you see in markets. So, right, if we just take that and we run this same analog, then this is the tariff tantrum. This is the move after the tariff tantrum. And then maybe we're just going to enter that sideways chop or consolidation, which again, if you're just buying and holding indexes is not fun. If you're hanging out with us, you're probably actually actively trading. So you probably get some longs on the go. You probably got some shorts on the go, and potentially real good trades to be had with that. So
Yeah, we'll see if we, and there's nothing wrong with taking some types of shorts, I think, here, especially on extended stocks. That Lumen is definitely on the radar today. Earnings coming up. I think it might wash out today. Definitely got caught shorting that thing yesterday, but I don't mind shorting it again. We'll see what happens on that Lumen, Lumn. Take a bigger short on that today. Got a LAC right now. I'm going to look to see if this can bounce as I look into the metals and minerals. So could just use yesterday's low. It's right there. See if it starts to come back.
the
Earnings
easiest
coming
answer
up,
to this one
I
is
think on the
that
4th, the 5th, one of those.
if the market moved off news like that, it'd be too easy. And it would just be, right? It's saying, I don't know where you read that there was a deal. I didn't, last night, I didn't read that. But even if there was, if it was just as simple as, oh, if there's a deal, I can buy stocks and they go up, we'd all be trillionaires, right? It's
I
just,
mean, there was a supposed deal on Monday, but then it turned around, right? And
yeah,
then it turned into Trump tout. These are the headlines. Trump touting short-term deal with China. Now it's on the short term.
Yeah, it's
Um,
like that's
yeah,
why
just
that's why
just
there's pure desensitization of that, right?
just
So
pure BS, guys. That's just what it is. Um, that's just
we'll,
that's just what we get now. And the worst part about it is there's no regulatory body to actually come in here and be like, no, you can't do this. You just can't publicly talk up a fake deal and then turn around and you never even had a deal. In other times, you would get in trouble for doing that. The SEC would come in here and be like, dude, you can't do that. Like you're moving around millions of dollars and you don't realize it. But
billions,
billions, right?
trillions.
You don't realize it. But hey, crime's legal, baby. Enjoy it. Enjoy it while you can, I guess. Well, if your name's Trump.
Yeah, and for us, right, just understand that it's not the market. The market is very smart, right? If the market was not very, very smart, it would be very easy to um, it'd be very easy to trade, and everyone would be billionaires. So sometimes the market will have amazing news and go down. Sometimes the market will have horrible news and go up. Right? Sometimes a stock will issue new shares and rip. Like I think it was that Cybin did that the other time, where they issued, and I remember, yeah, was it in this area? They issued new shares, which is generally speaking horrible for shareholders because you're diluting them. The stock ripped 15%. So it's if it was
Easy.
just as easy as I'm going to look at the news and then take a trade based off whether it's good or bad news, that would be way too easy. So, it's one of those that
Yeah. What
you have
about
to
the
know what everybody is thinking, and if everyone thinks there's going to be a deal, then when there is a deal, no one cares. If everyone doesn't think there's going to be a deal, then if there is a deal, it'll be a big deal. It's just, yeah, that's why I don't trade off news. It's just too complex.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking a little bit at maybe a Yang opportunity here. Leverage China.
Mm, yeah,
Setups there at least for it to push off of this, right? Could do a little throwback look to 22s early in the day and then start to climb back up. Not a bad looking trade, at least for the short term being. We'll see what happens on that.
yeah.
Baba
I've
also falling off.
never been able to find for intraday trading Japan or China. I've just never like I actually exclude ADRs
It's tough.
from
It's
from
tough
my
to
day
trade.
day trading setups. Yeah, because it's like all the action has happened. So it's nearly in China. It's nearly 10 at night. So if we were going to see something, you think it would happen. You think Trump, being what is he like 80 years old, is going to be up at midnight here? I doubt it. It's so it's the same with everything. Is Japan and even in some cases if you're looking at ADRs from, say, the UK, the only ones that I like are ADRs that are kind of within the same time zone. And it's just because the markets are open. So, like Canadian ADRs. Like, I'll trade Shopify, even though Shopify is technically a Canadian ADR, because our markets and your markets open and close at the exact same time. So, they're going to have that same, the candles are going to make sense, right? So, that's what I mean. He's in Asia. So, it's 10 p.m. for them, or 9 p.m. or something like that. Um, so yeah, I think any deal that comes out when it comes to China, it's the same with like Baba, for example. These are fine to swing trade, but if you look how tiny the candles are compared to the gaps for day trading them, it just becomes harder because all the action has occurred while you slept. It's occurred over on their markets, and it just makes ADRs different to trade. The charts are going to look different and feel different because this gap was probably not even a gap. If you went and looked at the actual like Hong Kong Stock Exchange, there was like this is a gap, right? The candles that exist in the US are candles that don't exist in China, if that makes sense. It's like the opposite. Like we're trading their overnight session. So for swing trades, it's fine. You just have to expect not um, not be worried about a gap because again, look at the chart. It gaps pretty much every day because it trades an entire day over in China before it opens here. So, if you're trading something like an FXI and you look at a 2% gap and go, "Oh my God, you shouldn't trade ADRs because it's going to gap. I think the average gap on this, if you look at this, is 1 to 2% a day because the average move is going to be 1 to 2% a day. So yeah, just a different beast. And I just found that with my testing, excluding ADRs actually worked better for at least my day trading systems. So take that as you will. Some people I know probably do great in trading ADRs, but for me, it's the only ones that I kind of miss trading would be again anything that's kind of in this time zone. So you're getting the same trading action happen at the same time. So anything in Canada or South America, like that type of thing, right? And I don't think there's too many. There's some, I guess. There's like some of these lithium names that are like SQM. You can see it doesn't gap a huge amount compared to BABA because right, Chile's time zone wouldn't be that different from ours as well. So, all right, 3 minutes to the open. Again, just want to look here at the SPY. I think this price is the most important one. This is the low of when everyone was freaking out after FOMC, and then we ripped to close pretty much even on the day. And then you can see that created a pretty decent resistance point where we've tapped it here, here, and here. So this is the zone. We need something to occur kind of outside of this zone, and then all of a sudden we can start to get some movement. But within that, what would be nice, and I might actually take a little bit of a shot on, is if we do a little undercut and rally here of this zone. So let's say, just draw this out, but let's say off the open, we kind of sell and we break this pre-market zone right here, and then we start to bounce and rip right through. That might be actually an interesting trade to take. We've been talking about these undercut and rallies a lot, so I may actually just load up this indicator and look at the, I don't know, like TQQQ or something like that with it. Right, so again, what we're looking for is just an undercut of this low, so an undercut of that low, and then a rip back through. If we can get that, that's an interesting trade to take. I would take that trade.
We will see what we come up with. 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes to the bell.
And did we get? I didn't even look to see if we had any earnings we cared about this morning.
There's
Caterpillar,
tons,
Boeing, UPS.
tons. There's too many.
Yeah,
That's the truth. There's too many. Um, to go through them all, man, we'd be here all day.
Thursday morning. It's Thursday. Yeah, Lilly, Mastercard, Roblox.
Yeah, I talked about like the main ones already. Um, there's other ones we can look through. I'll just take peeks towards like revenues that make sense. Like let's say like Roblox. That's one name that I am really against in what they do, but they're making money, man. And if you make money, well, the stock's going to survive. So let's just say that much, right?
This
Uh,
Roblox chart actually looks really interesting here.
yeah, and it's a hated stock, Michael. So this is right up your alley. Everybody hates it, yet
Mhm.
it's going up. You know
So
what
it's
usually
right.
happens to those stocks? They keep going up.
We're opening right at this lower trend line. So I might watch this one off the open just to see if we get a little bit of a right undercut and rip. But
Oh,
yeah, the main trade I think I'm just going to watch here is going to be just the SPY or again the leverage version of it, and just see if we find, do we undercut right here and then just start to rip back through. If we can do that, then that becomes a little bit interesting right off the bat.
all right. Starting it off, looking at USAR and those types of names, they're pulling back. Those rare earth plays are pulling back. We'll see if they catch the dip. But yeah, let's have some fun, guys.
So far, pretty muted open. Again, we're watching this line right here, which is
You,
682.88.
you know what might be a big short now, guys? I think Hims is going to fall off. I think it might go back to like $10. And
Geez.
that's part of your conversation, Michael. The Eli Lilly, because the whole thing of Hims is that it has a lot of generic brands that are cheaper that could easily go away. All right, long a little bit of USAR here, looking to add towards 21. It's starting to move at least.
Oh yeah, look at that go. So I've got our favorite news sources up here just to see if anything happens. Just waiting for some trade to come in. Oh, and we got one on Etsy, ETSY.
LAC in the green now, guys. About to add here. Just added there. Now I got a big hand in LAC.
Yeah, the bot picking up a little bit of Etsy here. Is Etsy halted? Or is it just that? No, it's just very slow. Um, yeah, so that's the first trade of the day. Again, this is just a mean reversion setup. Just thinking that this drop. So it had a massive drop yesterday because of earnings, and it's fading a little bit today. So it's just looking for a potential buy right here and see if it can reverse higher on Etsy, which I've done my channel checks with the wife, and she assures me that Etsy is still a thing that people use.
Etsy's still a thing. It's still a thing. I agree.
I don't. I know she's ordered some stuff from it, but all I remember her is complaining every time it gets here about how shit it is. So I'm like, "Do you still use it?" She's like, "Oh yeah, okay." Just take a look around around the horn of kind of sectors and how they're doing. We have
Got wiped
XL.
out there in USAR and LAC. So out of those names, and 25K account just took a big beating on that, like 415, 430. So done with that one today.
Yeah, damn. XLF bouncing. XLV healthcare is also bouncing here pretty well, and the SPY is just holding on. So uh, XLK is actually doing okay, but yeah, that's definitely the weakest. So we're seeing weakness in tech, and then we're seeing strength in XLF. We're seeing strength in financials, and we're seeing a kind of mega strength in XLV, which is healthcare. So it's definitely a, you know, like we talked about, this is a pick your stock, pick your moment kind of market. Make sure you're staying right, weeding the garden, watering the flowers. That was something I did a lot of yesterday. Is there was a lot of just okay, just show me the stuff that is um, what in my portfolio was going haywire when the whole market was going haywire. I cut a lot of that stuff. XLV, for
Big
example,
dump in those mineral
long
names.
triggered there. SPY, I don't know. I kind of want to see it may trigger on this our undercut and rally if we get back through VWAP here for the SPY, but I really kind of want us to at least fake out people below this FOMC low. I'd be surprised. I
You're
wouldn't be
you're you're
super.
getting at least a real defensive move right out the gates. Coke, up big. Pepsi. Your
Well, yeah,
defensive
healthcare
stocks
as
are
a whole,
leading.
right? Healthcare is making new highs of the day and is almost back over the JPOW kind of announcement here. So we're getting a big rally in healthcare, which yeah is very defensive. A lot of that's going to be Lilly. Ooh, that's interesting. So there, this Mitch on Lilly, that's our undercut and rally,
Hmm.
just triggered right there.
So, where you're seeing majority of the healthcare run is in medical distribution. It's not even that Eli Lilly. It's your Cardinal Health, your McKesson. Um, just to put in perspective, medical distribution's up 6.29% from the
You were
open.
going to bring up Oscar. I was going to laugh.
Um,
Lilly had a Jensen mention. What are you talking about, Tack? What
yeah,
is
it did.
the? It's going to be the
No,
AI
they
windfall.
did. They did. They did. They had a conversation together. Um,
Oh, okay. Well, that could be something. Again, I really do think, and it's not.
Cardinal Health is a big breakout here, guys. CAH, and it's a big breakout, not a small one.
I'm kind of biased as an old man, but I would love the medical
Look at that
breakout.
Cardinal Health.
Yeah,
Look at that
yeah,
breakout. That's a
I
big boy.
know. Yeah, and XLV is doing really well here. See more trades coming through. Let's take a look in here. Those are swings. AVGO. Little long here on Avgo on Broadcom.
There you go.
The bot's taking again this setup. There's these two major setups that I'm doing. This one's a pullback into the prior day's range. So a little bit of a bounce there. Again, we're short Etsy and we're long TTMI, which I've never heard of. SQQQ up 2%. Yeah. Well, but okay, so now we've got the undercut here on the SPY with healthcare and a lot of these names holding on. So what I want to see now is a rally back through quickly and rally back through quickly on VWAP. Otherwise, I think we're just kind of entering this range. I know a lot of people are looking at this gap. A lot of traders out here are just looking at this particular gap that's kind of in this zone right here and seeing, hey, are we going to come fill that gap? And that brings us all the way down to 667, which is roughly a percent or a half a percent down from where we are right now. We're already down about 1% on the day. So that'd be a 1.5% down day to fill this gap. That's not, it's not terrible. Certainly could happen. So if my trade on the SPY is going to work or going to come out here, I want to see this happen pretty quickly, right? If you're going to get an undercut and rally, you want to see the undercut and then just like a buy program flip on pretty quickly. And
Man,
if you don't get that, you just say it's a breakdown.
for my momentum names, there are some quality names here like Apple and I would say like Pfizer, but there's only 7 names green from 73 items.
Ooh, Pfizer's holding on. I guess that's the whole healthcare kind of biotech
Yeah,
story
that's the
that's
healthcare moved here.
so that looks like it might be the section to
The sector to
focus
play
on,
today, at
right?
least for
So
sure.
yeah, biotechs are looking really strong here.
Yeah,
So grab your favorite healthcare name, grab your favorite biotech
and
name.
you
Don't
want
talk
to
about
be
Oscar because
oh,
that was obviously a bad long from the bot yesterday.
trade those
Grab
names today.
grab onto those guys. Hims, yeah, Hims would have triggered here on the long side at about right here, 46.27. So again, I'm just watching my bot's trading away, and the beauty of the bot trading away is I'm watching the setup that me and Mitch are building together. So let's actually do this here, just a paper thing here on Hims. Again, I just want to show you guys that this is how real traders think. They're not super hyper focused on what's next the individual stock. They're saying, okay, what system can I build? So this
Phew,
would be the Hims.
SPY is tanking here, guys.
Yeah, it's
That's a
wild.
hard down move, man.
So look at
The VIX isn't moving nowhere near as much. I will say that, but
well,
definitely
because
that's
look at the
pretty hard.
RSP. So this is one of those days, right? The RSP, the average large cap stock, is up, but the SPY is down. I'll say it over and over again until everyone understands it. That means that big cap tech is what's pulling us down. The average stock
Yep.
out there is doing absolutely just fine. Large cap tech that's really weighing us down. So you've got to kind of know that and keep that in mind when you're placing your trades here. Is that different? We're
Long
in a
Pfizer.
stock pickers type of environment. And this is the exact opposite of what we've seen the last couple days. Is the last couple days it's been everything down, large cap tech up, and so we're just seeing kind of a revision there where big cap tech down, everything else is looking up.
And you got Pfizer on. Pretty big too. We will see what happens, guys. Long Pfizer, big, 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 guys. Maybe it works out. See what happens.
Call your buddy Trump. Say, hey, you guys want to increase your stake here?
I wouldn't be mad at you.
You know, good time to announce that. We'll increase stake in Pfizer.
Yeah, go talk about healthcare.
Yeah.
Nah, I just think it's been trying to go. If you look at the daily, it's been trying to catch this dip. It came right back to a double
Well, we
bottom
talk
look.
about it all the time. The reason we focus so much on these individual ETFs and sectors is because the sector is going to make the majority of the move. So if the SPY
Mhm.
is just kind of falling out of bed here, but we have healthcare that right off the open has gotten bought up, that's your institutional cue. That shows
Yeah.
what they're going into, and that's your best
Mhm.
chance. Again, we don't know for sure, but that's your best chance for finding a good trend on the day.
Yep.
Is that the big guys?
Yeah.
They're buying healthcare. So
You guys see me all the time use this up on the top left, right? This is change from the open. Now healthcare leading, right?
yeah,
Uh, and where the volume is also is a good sign, right? Look how there's 711 million shares traded in healthcare today compared to the financial services 128. And even if you wanted to bring in tech, healthcare is being traded more than tech today, 590 versus 714, right? So
Yeah,
that's
it's
why it's important to go with the daily rotation, right? The flavor of the day.
well, and right, these large institutions, they're not the ones making the gaps because they don't trade in the post market and the pre market. There's not enough volume for them. That's why you really focus in here off the open and you try to find that strong sector because that's the institutions that are saying the market's open. We've got some liquidity. Let's start using it to buy the things that we want to buy. And
Mm-hmm.
they're signaling to you as loud as they possibly can that right now it's not this. So this is the XLK. The reason I always do these XL whatever is that these are the things that make up the S&P 500, right? The XLK, the XLV, and the XLF. Those three are over half of the S&P 500. So XLK is down, which is tech. XLF is up and holding well, which is financials, which are doing great. And XLV is healthcare, which is up and holding up and doing great. So if you want to kind of start to target and say where do they like what do they like today? Well, they like healthcare, they like financials, they don't like
Mm-hmm.
tech. So if you want to do a long short thing, you could do that. If you're someone who's just looking for what has the best chance to trade today, I say you look at your or your healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
So Mitch called out CAH. That one's actually interesting just because it's basing around here
An
after
absolute
the
monster.
open. So not much give back on that guy.
Humana starting to get above the VWAP. That could be a name. 290 undercut. Um, ELV is another name that just bounced off the VWAP. Looking around to see what else is doing diagnostics and research stocks. So let's go to the top of that first. See if there's anything that stands out. Thermo Fisher with a nice move. DHR. Looking around to see big
Continuing
names
here.
there that actually have volume. ILMN Illumina, 97 dollars stock.
Oh wow, that's healthcare. Yeah, medical
Yeah.
supplies.
EXAS. Now that's a chart right there. That's a good looking trend as of late.
Exact sciences.
Don't know what the exact is, but
I don't know, but
it's
uh,
working.
the science behind a buy program. Holy smokes! Like, look at that trend.
Yeah.
That's like a 50% move in a
Tell
medical
you,
stock. So
tell you one thing, Pfizer not wanting to go down a single cent, and I keep adding like right here, tells me that it could go for a breakout. So these are the ones that I got to hold on. It's just like sitting there. When they sit there, it's trying to stop me out. So definitely not going to put a stop out there, but ready to watch this try to lift.
CVU. Steph's trading CVU, so you know it's insane. CPI Aero Structures Incorporated. Just a nice 69%
Ooh, the
gain.
holy grail, man. What a rip. Grail is just absolute monster, guys. It's trying to break out on the daily. The holy grail, baby. I can't believe I didn't get this thing on that big breakout, man. Oh, it's kicking myself, but hey, that's a beauty. That's strong. All right, Pfizer, let's go for it, man. Come on. I'm going to step up to the plate today. Whether it works out or not, we'll find out, guys. There's only one way. Whew, 20,000 shares at that 24.40 on Pfizer and at 24.42. So that's 40,000 shares of $24 stock. That's a pretty good bet. Whoever that is, that's a pretty good bet. LUMN right back to the top end resistance. Still gonna watch that one today. At some point, I expect a big leak out of this thing, And sometimes you got to be what? Patient for the leak. Not trying to jump the leak, but wait for the leak. Stock doing well today. UMAC. Of course, it had the Pentagon deal. It's holding really well. Yesterday, nice
Mm.
recovery day. Looks like it's trying to break 16 today. We'll see if it gets there.
Look at the green, ignore the red arrow, but look at the green arrow there. So it would have triggered right
UMAC, baby.
1650. It's a nice look there.
Yeah, name that's been holding on well, also doing well right now. NNE.
Nuclear.
Talked
Yep.
about that, about how I like NNE here. So it's not a bad one if we go green, right? If the SPY goes green, this is going to look great.
So we have IWM ripping here, just skyrocketing because we have the SPY trying to get back above. So this is going to be, I'm actually going to take this trade. I'm going to take it small as a bet, and just a test because I'm looking for, again, this is
All
what I
come.
wanted, the undercut of this purple line and then a rip and a close back through VWAP. So if we get that in 5 seconds here, I'm going to just take that trade just in my personal account, really, really small. Like I'm risking like $200 in my personal money here, and I'm looking for that. So that's what I've got drawn out here. So let me. All right, so that trade is on.
The volume. Ah, I was going to try to get QCMU, but the volume is just nowhere to be found there. So don't want the trade to be canceled. So Qualcomm might have to just be the way, but it's already jumped to 180 there.
No news that I can see from any of this stuff. But yeah, we huge turnaround here in the SPY. The Q's trying to catch up. We have the Dow right off the open, just ripping here. IWM rocket ship. MDY, which is your mid caps, that's doing great as well. And then RSP. RSP was essentially bought off the open. So this is, you know, take them, love them. Understand that the thing that's lagging you is the big cap tech name. So if you take a look at things like Meta and Microsoft, if these start to get some buying into them and start to recover, that's really what the market's going to need to lift. So there's also my trade there in Meta. So I got triggered in that. I heard the British man yell at me, and
The
this is the
Brits,
idea.
the British are coming. The British are coming.
Okay, so this is 2 to 1. These are again all day kind of trades. Buying Meta here. Should have taken a. I think about it. There's definitely a Meta leverage ETF. So I don't know if this is true, so I could just be talking out my butt. But I was talking to a trader buddy of mine, and he
Mhm,
says that all of those 5x leverage ETFs,
mhm.
the reason that they filed them the way they did and when they did is the SEC doesn't need to approve them. The SEC needs to deny them.
Yes.
So if the government doesn't open, then by default, these things are going to go live because there's nobody there to say no. And that's why they waited for the government shutdown to file for these things. And
And,
I think it might happen next week.
and I also heard that there are old ETFs that were adjusted, and that's what puts them around the rule too.
Right. That's exactly it. So they were like delisted ETFs that no one used, and
Mhm.
they just changed the ticker and they re-up them. So it's like a really sneaky way to get around the rule. And they're essentially just betting on nobody being in the office to say this is a horrible idea and just getting them right through the line, which I'm just laughing the whole time. Right? I trust this guy who told me it. So I'm not doubting that. Just I haven't.
Long SMR here in the swing account. Take a little swing here, see if it can just start riding up. There we go. I just wanted to see a quick jump, and then I want to see it like jump away. I'm trying to do a quick risk to return here. At the same time, like just get the entrance, right? Get the entrance and then put the stop right below it. See if it really wants to just run.
Spy.
Long
Ooh-wee.
SMR.
All right, so my longs are working out for me here, so I have to sit on my hands in case this was a
There we go. That's what I want to see in SMR, guys. Now I'm up like 20 or 30. At this point, I can just put the stop right behind it and like I'm just looking for it to push through 43 SMR. We'll see what happens.
A lot of this going on right now and looks really, really good for undercuts and rips back higher. So we just need to see the market just
There you go. Stops placed, break even, and now let SMR work.
that was a big move in the last 10 minutes of the SPY. So I would not be surprised to see a little bit of a chill or a little bit of pullback or something.
To to me, this is one of those days where you can run over all the bears. So I think they're trying to do it right now. You
Well,
know
and
how
they,
I know too. Well, remember how we were talking about how things were ugly right at the open, right? Well, Michael, look how this is completely flipped.
yeah,
All green, every sector green now.
well,
That's a
and a
sign. That's a sign.
very typical undercut of the FOMC low. And
And
then is,
financial services ripping. That's probably what's taking lead now with the strength. JPM, Visa, Mastercard, Berkshire, pretty much you look at it, look at Morgan Stanley, right?
yeah,
Like
they're coming in a bit,
they're
but
coming in and bidding. That's why I'm sticking in my Pfizer right now. It's like dropped like 5 or 6 cents, but I even have ads right above the highs. Like it's like come rip it, and I'll just keep adding into the move. Look at the SMR now 43. So you might see runaway moves where they don't want to let us back in. So if you don't jump quickly, like I wanted NNE, but I had a feeling that I wouldn't get the chance. Right? It's just ripping. So I just went with the lag of SMR.
yeah, totally. No, I could definitely see it that happen for sure. Where uh, you got enough of the people scared
Mhm.
after all the craziness that happened yesterday, and then a little bit of sell off today, and then you just rip her. Right? You just
Rip
don't look
it.
back.
And don't bring it back to VWAPs. I wouldn't expect too many VWAP moves here.
All
Qualcomm
we
been an
need
opportunity.
is or our boy Walter, and by proxy the president, not say anything. That's what we need. Just a silent day.
All right.
Like maybe he's
Try to get
already
some
gone to bed,
Qualcomm.
gone taking a nap now.
Got 20 shares of Qualcomm there. I'm looking for a little bit more back down towards like VWAP. VWAP's around 178.60s. So
Just
took a little
everyone
bit
be
there.
quiet, or better yet, come out with, "Oh, we've got the best deal. It's such a great deal. It's the
Such
greatest
a
deal
great
on
deal.
anyone." There's
It's
been
epic.
no, yeah,
It turns
epic
out
deal.
Cheese a nice man. He's a
Yeah,
good guy.
we're buds now. We're going out to beers later. Everyone's gonna be rich. We,
Dude, I swear, like a comedian doesn't need to do much to make fun of Trump.
there's what's that one guy? I can't remember. He's like big on like SNL and everything. He's big everywhere now.
Buy, push, look at that. Now you got a bullish
Trump.
engulfing candle now. I think if you can just hold above 683, 81s, you're looking great.
Well, I bought a bunch of stuff on this strategy that we were talking about. So let's automate it. I'll
All
circle
right.
back with us
Stepping up
here
to
with
the plate
leader.
a little bit there in Qualcomm. Just added a little bit more on the swing account. Now, okay, swing. Not trying to go crazy because it's Qualcomm, right? I got to give myself room. I'm gonna risk like $40. And on a stock like this, I can put the stop because it's way away, right? I only got 40 shares, so I can put it down far and look for
Yeah,
Qualcomm to get
I
going.
think Qualcomm's next week earnings, so
Yep.
you got some time.
Yeah, my idea is that this has already done like 2 days of just breaking the bulls. What if they come back today? You know what I mean? And they just drive this back to 190. That could be, a 6 point run here or something like that, 11 point run. So
Yeah, that's a nice looking trade tack on gold. It's got a deep enough pullback that I could see a lot of dip buyers coming in and starting to try to pick this up. People who missed the whole rally, but certainly this breakout here. So nice looking little dip buy there.
SMR getting more and more volume. Makes me want to step up, but I don't want to ruin my average. When start to get 50 cents, a dollar away, it's hard to add. This is why I talk about adding is more about determining like the timing aspects of it. Because if you start adding too far away from your pricing, that's how you ruin your pricing too. There is Qualcomm trying to get the lift here. So let's see if that can get the lift there. Look at Pfizer. It hasn't moved a single penny around here. Like it's just sitting there. I'm just waiting for it to break through 2450. I'm probably going to use all buying power if it does it. There you go. Qualcomm, nice little lift there. At this point, can take the stop off, look for it to break the high of 180, and go to break even. Boom. I'm just trying to be, especially on a momentum run like this, if I can be break even and just let these momentum moves run, who knows where the day ends up, right? So there I got
Well, and
two
that's
trades on, break
yeah.
even, momentum runs, and whichever one works out, hopefully one just continues to rip.
I really think that's the key that you're onto it there is that you need when you're in something like that, you're in something in which you think you've got a great price and you think there's good potential. Sometimes it's the hardest thing to do, but the correct thing to do, which is absolutely nothing. Right? To do
Mm-hmm.
not a thing at all, and just to sit back and just completely wait for it to play out. Because you're right, these things could use we could run all day. I mean, we definitely
Just be
feels like we
casual.
trapped a lot of people there. So this could be an all day. We could get back up to this uh, pre or post market high right here, and then if through that, who knows? I don't think a lot of people had that on their bingo card for us to be because that
Oh,
post market high is basically the high of when JPOW started speaking and kind of tanked us. So through that, and who knows? IWM pulling back just a little bit here. Who are you looking at? I was looking at my BBY. That's I think what I had that up there for a second. Tack. This purple line is
I'm
where
looking around,
I
guys.
thought
I'm looking around.
come up. Finally,
Coupon is the one I really want to see just start going, and that could really start helping tech. Right, we want to see tech kind of jump in here. Look at AMD. That's a good sign. I'm trying to see one of them take lead. AMD, nice push there. Looks like they're coming back, trying to get me out of Qualcomm here. I'm gonna put it towards like a $15 risk here to give it a little room, but it's $15, right? So give it a chance to recollect here at 179 and then really get going. The idea is I'm holding off of the VWAP, right? I really don't want VWAP to break today, and I'm looking for a breakout above the 180. There's Pfizer looking like it wants to go. I'm going to step up to the plate here. A lot of sizing starting to come in here. So it's time to just load up, load the boat.
yeah, SPY just hanging out, right, which is healthy. And what we just want to see is uh, not too much of a sell, right? You want to see after a big push like that, every little sell that comes in, there's a buyer that's stepping in to kind of take its place and to push
Yep.
it higher. Uh, which whoa, that's exactly what's happening now in the markets. We're getting
Just
a nice
added
little
there on
push out of that
Qualcomm.
base. Good strength there.
Might go for an add here in SMR. Just added there in SMR. Now watching it closely here for SMR because SMR loves to go up and then right back down to smack you. So you got to stay close with the action. There you go. That's what I wanted to see. Lift right back to the top end here. Now I can go break even with the add, right? So I added, and now I'm back to break even with bigger size. So let's see if it can just break 43 on SMR and then really get going. If that happens, I'm golden. If it does cut me out, I'll reassess.
A little bit of a topping tail there in the SP 500 tried to break out of a little, 2, 3 minute base that it put in, and then selling it back down just ever so slightly there.
All right, SMR looking great here. If it can really just start running, now we're looking good. So usually when I cancel the stop and just hold the stop right where I need it to be, which is break even, and you pull back on the price action, I can drop it like right there. Now it comes back, I drop it because the idea is that they're trying to recollect volume. If it recollects me at break even, I'd rather cut out there in this type of move. It's either going to completely rock it here or going to come back and play the range. So cut out of there, Qualcomm. They came and grabbed it. Right, you can also tell, like, right in between the spread, it's grabbing it right there. Could come back to 174, 178.40s, but it was a $35 loss there on Qualcomm, and there goes SMR. Put those stops, man.
Well, yeah,
They
the whole markets were
look
pulling back
look
here.
at look at SMR right there, man. They just grabbed me on the low of that candle and bring it right back 30 cents in, like, a second.
Well, I think you found the problem.
Right
Not
there.
that you had to stop out. I'd say it's where you had to stop out. Right?
Yeah,
If you
it's
had to
just
stop out at
that's
$10, it wouldn't have gone there to get it, right? So it's
yeah.
definitely where you had to stop out.
They're still playing with it, right? It's just they're kind of deciphering where is it going to run there. Above 43 still looks really good,
Yeah, it's just basing, right? It's just a
but
little
yeah,
chopping
now
around the
now
base.
it's probably going to. There you go. Look at that. Look.
We're seeing the same motion here in
Oh,
the SPY, right? This is actually kind of interesting that SMR is mirroring the S&P 500 so much. Take a look here, right? So you look at this S&P 500 had that massive push up, chopping around this base. You look at SMR, big push up, just chopping around in this base, right? So, um, it's careful where you, especially when they're basing like this, they're always going to try to test, right? Pretty obvious levels of support and resistance right there, just to play around with that. But listen, if the SPY just chills out here right now, I would even put that in the corrective day territory. If we do nothing for the rest of the day, means we've kind of probably sucked in some shorts here and started to push higher. Had a great momentum thrust from there, but given a little bit back here, we'll see what happens. We have IWM that has just turned negative. You see a nice little bull flag pullback we're seeing here in the small caps. RSP holding up a
big
little bit
pullback
better
there.
than the Dow. The Dow is the king today, showing that.
Everything was green. Everything just went red on the 15-minute.
XLF pulling back just a little bit. XLV pulled back more than most, but it looks like it might be trying to turn around and push a little bit higher here. VCIG. That looks like one of those hangovers that Kevin always talks about if I've ever seen one.
I just hate that SMR now because it's just now to get in I have to chase and I hate chasing.
Oh, you could look at that as just a simple bull flag now.
Look at it.
Maybe
It's just gone. I just that trade up.
2 or 3 undercuts of that. It's just been basing, but obviously a little volatile base. Looks like it might be going now. SPY doing the exact same. If you look at them, the exact same charts, unlike a
That's
2 minute chart,
frustrating right there.
SMR and the SPY.
That's a frustrating one, especially the way that it got me right at the spot there. Now it's nah, I can't jump up here at 43. This opens me up to too much risk. And there she goes. I'm just frustrated today. I can clearly see it.
Stop, man. And go to a paper mode or open up a 5K eval or something for
It is what it is.
mess about there. AVGO long is working well. The Etsy long is doing okay. TTMI, this one's doing okay as well. So across the board, doing okay here on the swings. Nothing amazing, but I got kind of three longs. The only one, WHD, whatever this thing is, we shorted it and it's doing great, but very illiquid here. So I have to watch this one a little closer. It's got like a 50-cent spread I'm seeing here. That's a bit
Okay,
too much for me to be comfortable.
there goes SMR. She's dead to me. Throw her in the ditch. Take it to the Everglades.
I still stuck in that range. Q still stuck in that range. IWM. So
The
we have
one was a good call
XLV.
earlier this week was the NNE above 46. That's held really well, really starting to break out. So
Absolutely. My boy Walter Bloomberg has just been silent this morning.
all the reporting was done at nighttime.
Yeah, I guess. Probably taking a little nap. Let's take a look at I can also do my boy Evan. Stock market news. He does a good job too.
Come on, Pfizer. Get back up there, Pfizer. Qualcomm not coming back up, that's for sure. MSAI in the small space. Multi-sensor AI holding. No idea what the hell it does.
Does multi-sensors, censored AI, of course.
Dude, it has AI. What are you talking about?
I was watching the news at 2 a.m. Absolutely no shot you'll ever see me doing that. Sleeping like a baby if my kids left me at 2 a.m.
Well, hopefully, at least for me. I'd,
Especially it's like if I can't act on it, why
I'd
bother?
love to mess with me at night.
You
That's the
know?
thing about having twins.
Yeah.
When one wants to sleep, the other one doesn't. Just the games they play.
GLD. Yeah, nice breakout from there. People are using that for a bit of certainty, I guess. Here, yeah,
Amazon did that undercut and rally. That's going to be one that probably gets triggered. VIX is starting to move up a little bit now. Finally,
Amazon are just good, right? It's got earnings tonight. I don't know.
yeah.
Trading it, but nice looking candle there. Nice looking daily candle anyway. So far, yeah. With earnings tonight, this could be another. It would be like hilariously fitting if we have this little sell off, like we closed flat, but we had the crazy intraday volatility yesterday, and we have more crazy intraday volatility today, just to spook everybody. And then tomorrow on Halloween, the market just gaps up because Apple and uh, Nvidia just killed it, and then that's it. Just rip from there. But obviously getting a little bit hot here in the market. So I think this overall, this price action is warranted. This price action is something that makes perfect sense. If we do have a couple consolidation days, some gap up, some gap down, but not a lot of movement here, that would make perfect sense. After these earnings, I think really all eyes are on looking at the shutdown, right? At some point, it has to end. I think it doesn't have to end super quickly. We haven't cared about it so far, but there will be a moment in which the market cares, and it may just be once we stop caring about everything else. So we don't care about FOMC now because that's past us. After tonight, most of the large cap earnings, not all, but most of the large cap earnings are out of the way. And then we're just waiting for kind of whatever happens next.
CRM takeoff, man. Missed that one. I wanted to trade that, but completely just didn't even look at it today. And that's a takeoff. That would have been one to add to the list, man. CRM and Qualcomm, the quality ones to look for on the undercut and rally. CRM, nice breakout there.
And the Salesforce. Yeah, nice little candle.
It's a nice breakout. Undercut it, shake it there, bring it right near the lows. 249.04 yesterday. Today the low 249 on the dot. You don't think someone had their order there?
The great looking day, as I'll say again. If we did nothing for the rest of the day, I still think that was a pretty positive day in which you got a lot of people spooked going under that FOMC low, and then you rally from here. But we are pulling back to VWAP, so the momentum is not as strong as it was in the S&P 500. We are still seeing continued momentum in the RSP. So again, the average large cap stock is doing just great today. Yeah, so nice little push there. So keep going through the sectors and see what's doing well. Financials obviously king here. You look at this chart, very shallow pullback. Hasn't really pulled back at all. What up, Josh?
What's up? How we doing, guys?
Doing good. Got some good little fake out there to the downside. It was a nice little play. Now we're seeing kind of, do we hold that rally that we just put in?
I got stopped hunted.
Oh, they found you?
They found me hiding in the cave
Those
with a big tinfoil hat.
those
SMR.
wascally rabbits.
You know SMR loves to do it to you, man. Well, you take the trade. I'll pass it to you, Josh.
Okay, all right. I'll take it when it cracks 42.50 in that VWAP if we crack, or we may go look for another long
No,
here.
trust me, it already stopped me out. That thing's going to the moon.
To the moon.
To the moon.
I get it. Yeah, it was definitely a crazy afternoon yesterday. That was fun to watch and be a part of, just partaking in the.
That?
No, I just watched.
Oh, good. I want to say, you psychopath. I was just memeing on Twitter the whole time because I'm like, there's just no way I'm participating. Like down 1%, up 1%, down 1%. Like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, it was fun to see. Yeah, the earnings after hours there too. It was great yesterday. That was fun to see. I wasn't expecting that big of a move into this morning in the sell off we got from Meta, but boy, it was good to see. It was nice to watch. Not partaking though. I just watched.
Yeah, it was a crazy amount of volatility for like literally nothing to happen.
Yeah,
Like, we looked at the SPY candle yesterday. It was a little doji. Didn't really do much of anything, but did a whole lot up and down just to get there.
yeah. Down back on it's like a roller coaster, Yeah, just to end up right back to where we kind of started, So it was.
Well, it's the HFTs just cleaning house with the people who are trying to get too active with it, right? Just
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take it all day long. I always say, if you really want to get, if you hate Ken Griffin, you really want to give the nuts to him. You just trade less often, right? And you'll be fine. Avoid markets like that are just insanely volatile, kind of for the sake of being volatile, and you'll do just fine. Yeah, what a coming back in. So the question I'm asking is, are we holding VWAP here, right? Big bounce. Did that undercut of the FOMC level, ripped. And now this pullback is kind of so far really anemic. It's just not super exciting, but it's pulling back in this slow, choppy manner to VWAP. So in a perfect world for the bull case, we come back and maybe test VWAP here and then reverse and start to push higher.
Yeah, I was thinking there for, well, depending on what we got yesterday, that we could see a surge to 700, but that got put on pause there for a minute. And I think we're going to be I think we get chopped up here in channel 4 with the earnings. Coming back on down. I don't think we see seven. And just in my opinion, I don't think we see 700 as fast as I was thinking we'd see it. We just such an elevated move there over the last few weeks. I mean, it just seems like we were at 650. We're at the money show, and now next thing you know, we're at 690. So.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty big move over 2 weeks. So, not surprised that we're seeing this.
It made their money, man. Now they're selling it to you.
Yeah. All those guys.
I think, yeah, it would, I've been saying this for a while. It'd be a perfect world if we just, between, this 690 and like 670, this zone right here, we just hang out for a while, right? We just chop about. And that kind of builds the next base. It allows some rotation under the hood. It gives people a chance to maybe get involved. And then into end of November, December, then we start to kind of rip and push from there and do all that kind of stuff where we've had the move. Now we get the consolidation, then maybe into the end of the year we get that next move. But it's like anything. I for one, think the consolidation is healthy. I think it's necessary for us to kind of chill out every now and then and say, okay, we don't need to be ripping all the time.
I like the bubble. Bubble away, man. Bubble mentality.
Like a way to take a little bit of air out, right? And then while we're chopping around, all quantum computers go to zero for all I care. No one would bat an eye.
I'm trying to pump the ball as hard as I can.
Who we got? Scotty F. Let's see. The guy on Money Mishes. I was the one that beat the Ackman competition. So Wayne Scott here in chat. So it says Scotty F. Nice, all right. Wayne Scott there. Scotty S. Nice to have that.
Scotty.
He said, I beat him barehanded there.
There you go.
Good job winning that tourney. That was fun. Need to do more of those tournaments. I say more. I wish there was one like once a month, but I think we'd get I think we'd get carried away. We had them that often, but I can't wait for the next one we have. That definitely was fun. And a good lead into the money show, for us, and that, for Trade the Pool there for a week and a half. We were definitely, especially you guys, just traveling around. You guys were busy. Watching W key here on my side, about the only thing I'm looking at in small caps. Small caps, like we talked about Tuesday, right to where we did have CMBM yesterday. I don't know if you guys were looking at that yesterday as well. Kind of for large caps, we had a small cap play give us some fun yesterday and run about 700-800%. CMBM was just a crazy one yesterday.
I don't know. Didn't see that one. Oh, screen not working there.
Why is my screen not working?
I'll fix it.
Fix it. Come on, Money Mitch. Let me show CMBM.
At least I might get something right today. Hopefully I can do this at least.
There we go. There's CMBM. There's your monster move yesterday. And it was really kind of weird at first. We had this nice spike to start the day in pre-market. Opening bell, the market makers just start doing their normal thing, halting it every 15, 20 cents here. So we're halting up, we're halting down, we're halting down, we're halting up. We're all over the place. Then we just build this slow and steady uptrend. Then we start doing the halt game again. And so it was fun yesterday afternoon to get some popcorn out. You had JP and FOMC to the earnings reports, and then you had this guy going Banana Joe's on us. So it was fun for my stream yesterday afternoon. And we had this nice, 500, then 1,000 almost percent mover going from, 60 cents all the way up to $7. And today still giving us some love. So we are looking at CMBM a little bit. Actually, now it's popping back on up. So we had this play, but today still for the most part, a little slower in small caps. Not really doing much. We had a good trend line crack here earlier for VCIG. So we're seeing some pops, but nothing really holding their gain. So liking W key back below this VWAP here for more continuation for the short side. Would love to see CMBM pop back up to the 765, 780 area. back into this old resistance lines that we have here. We'll see if it pops up. Has had good fills this morning around the 625 mark over and over and over. Now that's going to be your support line, your demand zone for traders coming into that VWAP holding this play up. And I like Money Mitch's play here. I was watching Google earlier, not anymore, or VCIG as it's dead, but SMR, I do like when my lines are paying out. Boy, oh, just going over to yesterday, seeing a nice fail there at the end of the day. Put your lines in, you trade the line. So maybe we get a short up top at 44.25, or potentially here back, get a bounce play. Forming a little bit of head and shoulders. I like trading the second portion of a shoulder. So you got the shoulder, you got the head forming right here. I like for this to come back down and get a bounce play back off the VWAP and get your second shoulder on the right-hand side. No, you're not looking for a lot, but I'll take, 50, 60 cents if I can get it. 42, 50, 40 area for the bounce back up to 43. Take your profit at 43. Most off there. Let your runners run. That's what I'm looking at right now for you Halloweeners over there. Any big plans for you guys and the kiddos? You got some dressing up to do coming up, Mr. Nas, Mr. Money Mitch?
We have the spookiest house around the corner. This guy goes nuts. He brings in like a whole crew. He's got skeletons as big as his house, like a 3-story.
Oh wow!
And they're going right up to the roof. And he's got. I remember last year, the kid's always talking a big game. He calls it just the spooky house. I'm going to go to the spooky house this year. I go, okay, kid. And we get there, and he's got under his deck this like zombie baby robot thing comes flying out under the deck on like a track and then goes back in. And he could not get out there fast enough. So that's the challenge this time is, right, could we can he do it again? He's never gotten to the door. I think it's been 2 years now. He gets close to the door, and this guy's got some sort of just one of those dudes that takes it super serious. So I'm watching that just to see. That's the biggest thing. That's his challenge. Like I'm gonna do it this time, Tad. I'm like, you better be giving out some good shit if he's making you go through all that.
Yeah, right.
Full size chocolate bar, none of those little dinky ones here.
Dude, inflation will get you on those chocolate bars. So you might as well just pass out $5 bills.
Ooh, yeah. Hey, that's not bad for a kid. How old is your kid, Nas? How old is the kid?
Almost 4.
Okay, 4. Oh yeah.
4,
okay, yeah. Oh, I remember the days. I remember Spy here getting a little crack of the VWAP, getting some big wicks and shadows up top too. I've seen a lot of reversal. Kind of noticed that here on both sides of the candles today. So getting a lot of volatility there. Not a big fan of that to trade it, but just kind of noticed.
You think that's just Apple earnings coming up tonight? Do you think everyone's like
scared
to make their mind up?
Because you look at Apple too. I mean, it hasn't really done, it hasn't done much. Now we're getting that sell off as well. So that's what I was kind of watching with it. So is it insider? People coming in already and doing their thing. Could be. I mean, it's just one of those things where like days like today, I got my trading yesterday at the bell. I wanted NVDA, saw that and moved to new all-time high. Took that trade out of the gate actually yesterday. But then it was like, okay, guys, I'm not trading large caps. It's going to get nuts over the next 24 to 48 hours. And I generally speaking usually sit on my hands when it gets to this, when I trade large caps. It's one thing like yourself, Nas, when you got automated, you're just trading bots and let the thing do their thing. Yeah, not when if you're doing your own, trading yourself, you better, this is when you can see those big institutions, the big boys coming in, yada yada yada, that's got millions of billions, and you're just a little seahorse out in the ocean, Well,
that's our job, is just try to figure out what they're doing, and to just grab onto the coattails. Why we were talking about like financials early, just holding up really strong, no dip we're seeing at all on XLF or financials. And then with XLV, it gave up a little bit of the ghost, but it's holding up okay here as well with that. So just trying to find where are the pockets of strength, like where is it that the market is holding up at. But yeah, other than that, the SPY is just battling this VWAP price, doesn't really know what to do.
CVU, Paul asked about that. That was a great one earlier. I don't know if you're looking for another short on it, possibly Paulo on CVU. It needs to come back on up. I'm watching it over to my right-hand side there. I wouldn't mind a short on it. If you wanted to stab at it, this 480 area, the reversal from earlier, I would want it back up top here, at least to this 415, 420 mark. And I know CR Trader, if and when he does join the stream today, he is the master at shorting the top there for sure. But to me, earlier, it was just this trend reversal. This was the last good short. Trading the trend, too, was it. Once you noticed it, which I noticed it somewhere right around opening bell, It was just, hey, short at the top, bounce back at the bottom of it. And eventually, the trend's going to die. At some point, it's either going to extend and go up and over it, and you're going to break out of it, or you're going to crack below it. And I like trading that, the crack of the, the break of the trend, whatever it is, whether it's a high or it's a low of it. I usually let the trend do its thing, and then you can trade the outside of it. So that's what I typically come in. And this was the last really good trade in short for me, was there in that trend line to VWAP crack. I love when the uptrend channel runs right with that VWAP when you get to crack together. I very rarely have seen a play crack, come down and reverse and come back up and stop you out. Most times this play just continues down for a good 10, 15, 20 minutes. Gives you plenty of ample time to take your profit. So yeah, if you want to, Paula, some 380 reversal, potential 375. You can see it's already starting to come in a little bit. I like this up a little bit higher wide, then you could challenge that resistance up top for a good stop for your risk area, so to speak. So I would wait till 415 to 420. That's just what I would be waiting on for CVU. But yes, earlier, if you did get it, great shorts at the reversal area. I know CR Trader was killing that. And then trading that trend reversal there, the crack of it, like VCIG, is where you can just almost sometimes, especially when the trend is in and you see this working over and over and over, you can almost, like I've had periods of time where it was just, close your eyes. Literally, you can just watch this go down and it stays down. I mean, you find your entry area here at the trend reversal. Very rarely will you get back above that on these small cap tickers. We are in a bullish state here, even recently since September, so it could, and that's why I would go a little higher on this with a short and not risk the biscuit, risk your money you've made for the day. You're an hour in after the opening bell. This is the time to trade a little bit smaller, a little bit tighter on days like today, in my opinion. Now, there are days to put the gas pedal down. I think we've talked about that plenty of times on this stream. Today, to me, is not one of those days to put the gas pedal down and just hammer it and floor it.
Yeah, especially again once we get today out of the way and we get the big guys. So it's what Amazon and Apple are both today. Once those are gone, then we can start talking about it.
Yeah, I'm ready for next week already. I'm like, want this weekend. I'm ready for it's nice and cool here. We're finally getting a nice, good blast of cold. I can't imagine how cool you probably already are, Michael, wearing what you're wearing today. But finally even Money Mitch probably getting a little cool down there in Florida. I don't know. Maybe Orlando. I don't know if they felt the cold air yet, but
I don't know what cold is, man.
Yeah, I know.
Like, sweaters for
you very rarely get it down there in Orlando. That deep down south. But yeah, I'm ready for this week.
Pull out the winter coat for 60 degrees,
Yeah, right. Yeah, you got it because it's styling and profiling.
Wearing parkas in the 60-degree weather.
Right. It's like you got.
Come on, dude.
You got styling clothes. You got to wear them at some point.
Sweater weather. That's what's called sweater weather. If you want to wear a sweater, you can. You shouldn't really be knocking out the jackets. All right. Well, I'm about to take the hit in Pfizer and probably Rocket. Long on that thing too, but at this point, I don't think anything's working.
Yeah, what's up, Chase? Yeah, slow morning for sure. Any luck with you guys? Yeah, that was a trend. The cracks earlier, like we just talked about, my side was we got the shorts there if you took them. And then recently, the last 30, 40 minutes, really nothing for me. Haven't seen much besides VCIG that did pop up, which not VCIG, WKey popped up kind of out of nowhere here. Was the most recent mover that I was alerting. But now you can see just volume starting to die off in it. So leaving it alone to see if we get some more volume to move back into it. Money Mitch's play here, SRM. Looking at it, it's got volume, but it also is dying out now. It's one of those days where I definitely just like Nas was saying, I'll wait till throughout the rest of the day and get more heavy possibly tomorrow and definitely by Monday. Today I feel that. I feel like I'm a kid. It's Halloween. I want to kind of take off a little bit, and I want to go have fun. And that's where my brain is. And so when my brain starts to do that anyway, where it's like not fully going trade, and I can see there's parts of my brain thinking about other things. I just don't want to trade that heavy, or I don't trade a lot. So,
well, yeah, and the SPY is still in the pre-market range. So we had the opening dip that undercut the FOMC low, and then we kind of ripped from there. And then we had this kind of sideways consolidation after that point. So really, it's like we've had two kind of decent moves already today and a decent gap. So that might just be it. Like we may have just seen all of the moves we have today. And again, I think everyone with Trump is on, Trump's hanging out in China, doing trade deals. They're fighting to reopen the government. There's a lot of, headline risk to both sides. If they go, okay, we reached a deal, we're reopening the government and what those ACA credits or whatever that Steve was talking about, and hopefully his Oscar's up to $1 million, and we could see an out of the blue move. So I think it pays to be patient and be a little diligent today, but not get too focused in. Like, if you want to do something, do some other work or play some games or something, and on the corner of your screen or have a chart of the SPY going. And if you see some crazy movement going on, then there's likely some amount of trading that has taken place. And from there, have at it, right?
You got it.
The
100%.
only thing I see that Walter Bloomberg has tweeted in the last hour is luxury home prices climb 5% in September. Good. Just luxury home prices.
I know, right?
Oh, good for them, I guess.
Inflation's going higher, man. It's coming back.
Non-luxury home prices increased very modestly. Oh, and then he just tweeted, American Airlines, United Airlines CEOs to attend event at White House on the impact of government shutdown on aviation. And I looked at AL, and I looked at UAL, and neither of those stocks have moved today, so no one cares about that news.
What qualifies as a luxury home?
I don't know. Over $1.26 million.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
The
Not quite there.
median
Not
home
quite.
So that's why, right? I looked at ITB when he said when he
What did I
tweeted
tell you
that.
about SMR, man? What did I tell you?
Yeah, she's a bull.
Gosh.
She's a bull.
It's just, like I told you, man, I got out, and now it's time to send it.
I love it.
I remember
I got right.
that was Kenny's whole thing for a while. He opened up a chat room, and the whole sales pitch that my boy Kenny did was, "I will tell you when I sell, and then you buy it then, and you'll be rich." That was
Pretty
his
much,
whole.
Josh. You got to listen in on the show, man. Pretty much. Pretty much. Especially break even. Out.
Yeah.
Just start yelling.
Well, and he would always do so. I buy the stock at 10, I sell it at 11, and then I'll tell you when I sell, and it will go to 14 that day. And he was just
That's the life. That's the true life of a trader.
That's why I always say I think exits by far the hardest part of the game, because you'll always be wrong. You either sell too early, or it comes back and it takes some of your profits before you sell, because you're never going to nail the top of the stock. You're just never going to do it. You're never going to nail the bottom of the stock, so you're never going to nail the top of the stock. So it's like a practice of being wrong in a way you can sleep at night. Right? Am I going to, are you going to be the guy who takes profits early? And you're okay with the fact that the stocks just rip without you? That's fine. And are you going to be the guy who trails stops really, really loosely? And it means that at some point you were up 1,000, and by the time you exit, you're only up 500. Are you going to sleep well at night there? But it is 100%. You're going to be wrong on your exit. The only way to be right would be to nail the exact top, and you're not doing it. So that's why I always just look at. That's why I like things like time stops. If I can find an average time that is the best for my trade, then I just exit then, and you just gotta be a little zen with it. So, okay, whatever happens from this point, I had my trade, I took my trade. Now whatever the market's going to do is not part of my trade, right? Because my trade had an entire rule and a system attached to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Pfizer. I think it's just going to stop out, guys. It's going to be a big loss, but we'll see what happens there. If Rocket can get me back, that's in the green. We'll see if Rocket wants to make a move today.
A little bounce in XLV going on here. A couple minute bounce here.
Yeah, I'm trying to hold in, but
frustrated.
WGRX for sub $1 plays is moving too. I'm going to get rid of CMBM here, but WGRX, I don't trade sub $1 plays, but it is up and it's moving a little bit there, up 20% on the day. And that's really what you're dealing with. I like W key up against the 20-20-50 mark. That's a good short resistance area. And again, just wait for SMR at this 40-40-20 mark. Again, going back on SMR here, I love this resistance area working out the last few days there at 40 44.20. So looking for that little reversal off of that, back on down to say 43.50, somewhere in there. What's up, Tack? How you doing? Of course, all the guys joining today. Thank you, and gals and guys. Reese, how you doing? Chase, Steph.
Ooh, Core Scientific terminates merger with CoreWeave.
Yeah, it's already talked about. Kind of a no news.
Taking a little bit there. CRWB. Yeah, not really moving too much there. Yeah, slow news day while we wait for the big guy, which you could describe as both
Now
Apple
they
and
want to do an APLD leverage trader. When did this one come out? I didn't even see this one. This thing went from 49 to 176. Holy moly.
What is the play?
APLD.
Oh, APL, yeah.
They have APLX.
Ah,
X. X. All right. Need more buying power. One more rocket.
which rocket?
RKT, baby.
RKT, what RKCT?
The only one called a rocket.
Well, there's Rocket Pharmaceuticals, and then there's Rocket Mortgages, or Rocket Companies now.
Companies. RKT.
There's Rocket Lab.
No. Only rocket I know.
He says, I only know one. Hey, nothing like knowing one beer called American Rebel Beer. Let's take a look at AREB here.
That's not.
We should have shorted it last week. Darn it! Look at that, all the way down to $1.40.
She's dead to me, Josh. She's dead to me.
We found the top. It was last week when we were trading it. Gee golly, talk about finding the top there, not.
Gee golly.
Well, listen, it's going to go back to $10 million a share. Just you wait.
Oh gosh, but yeah, like you're saying, it's so many traders, and I've had that throughout the years. There are traders, they want it even for targets, when they're trading. Like let's just say AREB, I want it to get to 184 or 183, and I'm like, 180 is that? Take your profit at 180. You don't have to get right on the dot with these traders. They get fixated on these numbers, and
all right, I'll take profits at 9,800,000. Then I won't wait for the full 10. That's the thing that always gets me is people get anchored to those prices. They think it'd be reasonable for this thing to be, they just look at a chart and they look, their chart looks like this, and they're saying, well, man, if it just gets up to like $130, that's a 10x or 100x on that, right? I put in $1,000, I walk away with 100,000. That's amazing. It's like, no,
that's amazing.
The company is going bankrupt. It will cease to exist very, very soon. Like if they made any amount of money, their chart wouldn't look like this.
Yeah,
just like flatline,
Hey, and some of those people, I would really just love to talk to them about basic life. Hey, who was the 16th president? Do you know who the first president was? Just ask questions like that to see if I get a basis of, when maybe they just know all this stuff and they are smart. But I'm like, if you're that smart and you have a brain, you remember this stuff. What are you thinking looking at that chart? How do you think that's ever getting back there? But people do. Yeah, it's funny.
Well, they just look and that's why even as a CMT, as a a chartered market technician, I always kind of caution people on using charts too much and not using your brain, where they say, "Oh, it just needs to bounce back." Look, the prior resistance at $200 a share. I'm like, no, dude. Okay, charts don't include things like the stock splits and the market cap that has changed over and over again. So if you chart out the market cap of that, it probably hasn't changed too much because the dude's just been diluting you constantly. Yeah. And then just go to his website before you decide to buy that company. Just take 10 minutes out of your day. It was funny. Peter Lynch always used to say he was amazed that people will spend more time looking at what refrigerator to buy than what stock to invest in. Right? They'll spend 6 months looking at all the different types of refrigerators and their features and whatever, and then they'll just buy whatever stock, for a trade again.
You just ask the guy at low, right? What stock do I buy?
Yeah, there you go. I'll ask him. probably not going to tell you AREB, so you're going to be better off than whoever ended up buying it there.
Go look around and be like, Whirlpool, bro. Come on.
Little pop up there. We'll pop up in the market.
Pop in the market. Pop in the market.
Or are we trying to get back to these highs?
No, SMR is just trying to get to 50, you know?
Yeah. Nice play there for SMR. One of that dip buy just did not come to me. She kept going. She's running away from me. She's running away from me.
Oh, man. I'd be up like what now? 1.2 on 200 shares? Wouldn't have been a bad one. That's just how it goes. Look at Qualcomm coming back too. That's going to be the one that will probably rip today. Another one, Josh. Just let you know.
Okay, all right. Hey, I'm watching it. I'll watch it. I'll watch it. Does it have when does it have earnings?
In like 2 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, I figured it's got to be coming up. Yeah, I didn't know if it was sooner.
Next week, the Wednesday.
Gotcha. I saw a huge move on Monday there, so I know that was.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking at it. They just put a 15-minute bottom around that 178. We'll see if it starts to make a move above 180.
OpenAI prepares IPO at $1 trillion valuation. Wow.
Dude, if that comes out, that is the top of the market. Right effing there. Calling in
at a $1 trillion company right
I am shorting the market a week after that.
That's nuts.
Damn. That's wild.
Yeah.
$1 trillion. Wild. I think the biggest valuation IPO ever was probably like 100 billion. So it's 100 what? Yeah. 10 times that, 10 times the biggest IPO of all time.
It's just, just a little bit bigger than a third of your countries in the world.
Yeah.
Well, it's only 1/5 NVIDIA. NVIDIA crossed, I don't know if it held there, but it crossed 5 trillion yesterday.
And then we had Microsoft go over 4 trillion like the day before or whatever. Is it?
Yeah, for a second there.
Yeah.
And then when it did this spike, and then
the earnings
down she went after that. Actually, it looks pretty interesting trying to climb back through VWAP there. I haven't really checked. I skipped the meta trade. I drew it out here, but I didn't take the. It would still be holding.
It took profits, man. That's all it was.
There goes the SPY trying to get through today's high here.
A good pop there from that kind of lingering around that VWAP for a while, kind of making this pop back on up there. Finally, that 685, 686 mark.
Oh, that's looking good.
They don't want to completely watch Pfizer on me, so maybe it does come back. We'll see. The market can really rally. Maybe it can come back also.
Well, let's take a look. We got XLF here. We got financials making new highs. This thing just hasn't stopped today. This chart's been definitely the strongest. Healthcare is trying to get back through VWAP, and then financials are trying to pop as well. So we have financials are holding us up, and then it's been healthcare after that doing okay, and then technology's been lagging. So if those two, especially XLK, XLV, if these things start moving, then we can really start to get a push there as well. Again, I think the next big thing is a finalized China deal that could move us a bit, or a failed, right? They start throwing tomatoes at each other across the table or whatever. And then any sort of talk about, because I haven't heard anything about a potential, the government shutdown will be over here. It seems like both sides, from me just asking API or asking Perplexity every now and then, because God knows I'm not going to watch the news. They say they're just fighting over this Obamacare thing, and that there's no side seems to be given any ground at all.
And by the way, on SMR, I am on that short right there, like we talked about. Got filled as it popped into 44.20. I like this reversal area. So again, like to see if we can't take this back down to 43.50. For SMR, stop loss will be just over 44.40. 40 for my stop loss there. So getting a little reversal there. And this may stay bullish. SPY's getting that double top look in reversal.
Oh, no. You shorted my rocket?
Yeah, just for a moment. Yes, not rocket. Well, SMR, your other rocket. Your other rocket for the quick. Just a little 50.
Come on. It's not going to let me get an entry.
Yeah.
You know that. It ain't going to let me come back. That's a runaway. That's a runaway, man.
Runaway Train.
She's a runaway.
What's that song? Runaway Train, the old school 90s song. Runaway Train.
Oh, trust me.
It was some kind of song in the 90s. It was a sad song, the Runaway Train song. And I just remember the music video because it was about a bunch of kids that I guess were abducted or, like when you always see those, like you go to Walmart, this kid's missing, like all the missing posters. Always scared me as a kid when that song came on. It was a sad song. I was like, oh, Mom, don't let him take me. Don't let him take me, Mom.
Take it.
Hey, when you're a kid, it's like you're saying Nos earlier. Well, you have these things that are built in your head, like your son and tonight and the challenge or tomorrow and whenever, he has this challenge with the super scary house down the street.
Mm-hmm.
You build these things in as a kid and you're just like
Scary house.
Scary house.
I think there's I'm resting my back all day tomorrow because I think there's 100% chance I'm carrying him home from that house. I need to make sure I'm limbered up and ready to go because he's been talking a big game.
Yeah,
it just hasn't been working out so well.
Scotty with the short on Sup V. I like Sup V for a short swing. I know you talked about your Sup V. What's up, V?
I just took some of this LTM.
Should have bought some Sup
airline company.
NFT.
LATAM Airlines.
Okay.
This robot for a swing. Just bought some of this guy. Nice looking little consolidation here we're breaking from.
It looks like it's about to get you in long.
Yeah, just on this breakout for a swing here.
Yeah, looking good. Looks good there. I like that. But yeah, I like Sup V, Scott T. Sup V and Scott T. I do like that for a short swing for sure. Once we get back under 1120, today's kind of that topping tail, getting a little bit of a doji up top on the daily there. I see that resistance pushing up against around the 1190 mark. So back under 1120, she going to crash back on down. Watch for that first red candle day. And then, you're good to go for that short swing, in my opinion. I see what you're seeing there. Seeing what you're seeing on Sup V. What's up? All right, so I forgot about poor Kevin and his son out today with the injury. So next hour, am I going solo or are we just going to call it short today? What are we doing?
I don't know.
I'm going to hang out for
sure call.
30 minutes, I think.
I'm definitely not hanging out. Not with my accounts the way they're looking today. They are on a bleed out.
Bleeding?
Oh, I'll hang out here a little bit long and then
I got the artery open and it just keeps leaking.
All right. Well,
no glue. No glue to stop it either.
Hey, super glue works. I mean, I've had to do that. I've had to super glue a dog before. So
out there on Pfizer with a nice 360 loss. It is one of those days, boys.
One of those days. Yeah, it's all right. You're gonna have those from time to time. It's light for me. Light and tight today. I'm going light and tight. Light and tight.
Just annoyed, man. I got a trade or two taken off, and then I'm just in a rut. I'm just riding the rut.
Right. Hey, get you a good weekend. Good, it's Halloween. Eat a bunch of candy. Get a sugar rush. Pass out with your kids. Get some sleep. Get some me time in. Get ready for Monday. Money Mitch is back at it.
Yeah, we'll see if we're back at it or not. I'm closing the account. It's just an ugly day.
Steph, have a good one. You too. Steph, if you're out, keep it on MSAI. MSAI was another one for small caps. Yep, a little slow and steady. SMR working out, coming back off that 44.20 mark. Loving that magic 20, of course, that Kevin always talks about. Yeah, MSAI, nice slow and steady mover there. Nice slow and steady mover. Me and Mr. Nos holding down the fort. You're going to stick with it for a little longer?
Yeah, we'll hang out and see.
I love to see it. Not really, but no, I love Jeeps. It has nothing to do really with me, but I don't like their new owner. Jeep maker Stellantis. I see that Stellantis stock fall 6% after issuing warning on one-off costs. Okay, cool. In battle now, automaker Stellantis is seeking to respond to political, economic. Yeah, well, Stellantis, what are you doing? Have someone else own my Jeeps. I'm a big Jeep guy. I'm done buying Jeeps. Bought too many of them. Well, maybe I'll get like an old one, like an old 80s one, old school nostalgia kind of those cooler old looking ones. Avery's into that. She's, done with and like I like that old school look too. Everything now is so modern looking and they're getting even more modern. I love BMWs, but they're kind of looking too like futuristic. I like that old school boxy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Give me
what I miss? Like the old school, like
FTJ.
Volvos and stuff. Like
yes.
Just
SMR baby. Woo, 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 woo. Sorry to cut you off, Nasi. I'm gonna come. I'm cut there. Woo, woo, woo. There's that line. 44.20, baby. Let's go.
Money Josh in the house.
I'm out of that trade right there, baby. Good reversal right off my line.
Take that money.
Put your lines in and trade them. Money, money, money. Love it.
Take it. Take it and run, man. Take it and run.
Boom, shakalaka. All right, cool.
My boy just messaged me. Big name swing trader. Find a bunch of CRM calls. He's like,
okay.
Who's talking CRM?
Yeah, that's why I brought it up for you. He trades a lot, but he's saying and he's a longer term dude. He uses let me see if I can find this. He uses like a Bollinger Band width strategy. So what he looks for, because this is there we go.
Right.
Simply put, right, the smaller this line right here, the less volatile this thing has been. You can see it's been incredibly done nothing for a long time. So his whole idea is, which makes perfect sense, that means the calls are cheap. The premium's cheap because there's no volatility in there. So he can buy them pretty cheap, and if he gets any kind of a move, and then he's got a pretty simple philosophy where you sell half for a double. If you get any spike in volatility on these things, they'll skyrocket, even if the price doesn't move too much. If you just get a little bit of a pop in price, you get a double in the movement because you get that volatility as well. And then once you sell half for a double, he just kind of rides the rest, and he just has all of these setups, all these trades going on where he's got just manage the ones that have already paid for themselves. So, still going there. An SMR, good work.
LUMN starting to break down. That looks good for a nice swing, short. But on a day like today, I am done, man. I am done.
Well,
I'm just burning through cash. Just lighting it on fire today.
Well, let's stop yourself out, right? Close it, hit the lock.
Oh yeah,
close it all down.
I'm literally done.
I'm
literally done.
Josh, hold it down.
I'll let you guys take the lead there, guys. Have a good one. Stay safe in Halloween, of course. Spooky Halloween.
Like the hat hair. It's spooky, baby. It can get hat-licious.
Spooky.
Hey, thank you for handing me SMR yet again.
I got you, bro. I just it's just that type of day for me.
It's all right. Hey, it's all right. You handed me the keys to the Ferrari because you were, you had a little too much to drink, and you're like, hey, listen, I don't want you wrecking the Ferrari. You take the keys, I'll take it from you. You go relax, get ready for tomorrow and Friday.
Yeah.
What about Friday? Since I know you guys don't stream here, I'll ask you both this since you're still with me. Do y'all trade on Fridays? Or you just completely take the day off?
It depends.
I watched the first fill is my routine. And just to make sure everything's working. So I watch the first fill. I make sure the stop loss is put out. I shut it down. I do,
like it.
Else.
Got triggered out of there of Rocket. So now when you see it at 1780s later today, you know why. See you later, boys.
All right, brother. Have a good weekend. Enjoy. Boom, boom. There you go. Now, he wants to stick around. You just want to talk Halloween and candy now with that Orlando Health soccer jersey over there. He's wearing the football jersey. I forgot to wear pink all month, so I wore pink today. And, of course, with the Terry the Pool hat. Tomorrow, I was going to do a little costume maybe on my live stream. So tomorrow, I'll be dressing up on my live stream.
Are you going to spoil what you're going to be, or is that a surprise?
It's a surprise. You must come join tomorrow. I'll have Kevin Avery on. Yeah, I'll have Kevin Avery on again. So every Friday,
good marketing.
Every Friday I have a streamer or a trader on that streams live or a trader or whatever. And so every Friday this past month I started doing that. And what I figured I'd do at the end of the month, invite everyone back on, and then, have like a little roundtable discussion and talk stocks and what we see in the
Cool.
market. And so he'll be on tomorrow. I don't know if he's going to dress up or not, but I told everyone, yeah, dress up, come on. So I'll have Kevin Avery and a few of the other traders that I had on. Next month I want to do, and I was going to ask you guys. So if you wouldn't mind joining me on Friday, since if you are around, if you aren't trading, which would be awesome. Yeah. About an hour after the opening bell, I'll get done trading and whatever I'm looking at. And then, I'll have, one of you guys on. Like, I'd love to have you on a Friday, have Money Mitch on a Friday, see if Cass will join me on a Friday. And then on Black Friday, to end the month off next month, have you all back on and have like a little TTP roundtable discussion, to end the month. That was my idea for November.
Yeah, for sure. Just ping me the time. I've got some podcasts I record and things like that, but we'll work around it.
Yeah. And I know, like Jason, a lot of people want to hear your thoughts on bots. So yeah, if of course, just it's not like it's a money show presentation, but yeah, if you could have together what what you trade, how you're trading, what you're looking for, what you're doing in the bots, and it just helps out traders. I just love getting ideas, like when Kevin was on, he talked about the hangover, and so that opens up eyes to so many, different setups for traders. I mean, I can only trade so many ways, and I have only so many setups that I like to trade. But then you guys come on and talk about what you're doing, and then there's traders that or whoa, I like that. That looks good. That fits my eyes, or that fits my brain, and so that's why I definitely want to get you guys on and talk stocks or bots.
I guess I don't have the power to remove that little offline thing, but that's Mitch. So that's just. Oh, there you go. You got the power.
Boom! I've got the power, baby. There we go. I'll tell you. He handed me the power, I guess, the magic wand today.
No, and I think that's really cool that you do that, where it's all different, because it's the one thing that I've learned a long time ago in this game is it doesn't matter how you trade, and in fact, everyone trades completely differently. What matters is it the way that you trade, right? So what you got to do is you got to try a bunch of styles, you got to fail a bunch, you got to fall and bump your head a whole bunch, and then along the way you start to go, okay, what am I good at? What am I bad at? And for me, I'm really good at the planning. I'm really good at like technical analysis. I'm like when the markets are closed. What I'm really bad at is the whole emotional control side of hit the button in the moment, like dealing with shock events in like as fast as things goes, which is why I do so much swing tradings, because it helps with that. But so the bots basically help me do what I'm good at, which is observing the market and trying to see patterns of things that work and all of that, and it helps me offload or outsource what I'm bad at, which is the actual execution of it, right? So I've taken a bunch of trades here today. I haven't hit the button one single time to buy or sell anything. Right? So I've got my Avgo, which is down a little bit now, and I've got my Etsy. You can see I'm like learning whether or not I'm up or down on these things as I'm loading them up. So I don't even, as soon as I know that the bot is executing, I close that thing. I don't want to look. I don't want to see the P&L. I don't want to look at the things ticking around. I have the ability to get to it quickly if TTMI, short on this guy, sorry, long on this guy. And yeah, I have the ability to open up if I want to, right? Punch out of some trades if I have to, but I try to intentionally put a little bit of resistance, a little bit of barrier there to me, so I don't end up doing it.
Yeah. Yep. No, that's that middle side kicks in so fast for traders. So it's hard to get to that, as I call it, robot state. Then that's funny that of course now we're getting to that where robots, bots, essentially are AI's trading for you. So that's huge, for traders to have that ability now, because it's so hard. Like you said, we were not born and created as humans to do something like this, so it makes it a lot easier for you. And I've had that with so many traders, the hundreds that I've worked with throughout the years, trying to get them to be I want a day trade, just let me come in and get a trade and then I'm gone, blah, blah, blah. But then they realize that they're like we were saying, we're not really meant to do it. It's hard for our brain to wrap around what we should and shouldn't and yada, yada, yada. So I have something like yourself that want to go to bots or B, learn that swing trading is easier for them. That day trading mentality just isn't meant for them, and it's hard for them to do. And well, again, like I always say, why are you trying to put the triangle in the cube, or why are you trying to put the cube or the round and cylinder as like you're trying to force things that aren't fitting? It's just not going to work. You're running your head into the wall over and over and over. Find what works and just do that. Like me, at first, I realized I was only a good bounce trader, and I didn't do anything at first, but look for bounce plays across the board. And I was like, cool, you're just a bounce trader for now. That's your little baby. You'll get to, we're trading all the different setups that you can trade now, but don't do it if you're not going to be that successful and you're going to make it harder for yourself. So it's like, look, don't short, don't trade breakouts, just do your bounce plays and look for them over and over and over. And it made it easier for me to where I'm at, in this journey versus a lot of traders just kind of keep running into the wall, and I try to turn them away and no, do this. And they keep doing what they're going to do. And that's like you're saying, you got to find who you're going to be as a trader. I say that so often. As my goofy comparison is always say, how many different point guards are there? How many different centers are there? How many different center fielders are there? How many different catchers or pitchers? And every different sport, and they're all different. And they found their niche to where they're good and have succeeded, and they got there. I mean, everyone's going to do something a little differently, and you've got to figure out what that is for yourself. So yeah, it's cool to see that, getting with you and the other guys I've been, just essentially for the last few years, and me, and I trade what I trade and don't really look around like other traders. I know everyone trades differently, but it's awesome to finally now spread the wings, get out and do this stuff with you guys at TTP and being part of a team and see, everything that I, preached and teach for years, that we're all a little different. We're all going to trade a little different. It shows and shines so bright when we are here together, where Mitch was looking to go long. And I'm like, well, I'm going to take the short here. And he's like, oh, you're shorting my rocket. Like, yeah, I'm shorting your rocket, and like they always say, well,
it's just the way she works, where some people only short, some people only long, some people only swing, some people, and I guarantee you all those people have tried, if they're successful, they've tried the other things and they just failed miserably at them, right? And said, okay, well, and I remember I was doing the same thing where I was joining different people's chat rooms and they were scalping, and I was like, oh, this sounds great. And then again, I started scalping before HFTs and everything. So I was like, oh, I scalped before, I can do it again. And then, of course, the market had changed dramatically while I was away doing hedge fund stuff. And then I'm just like, okay, well, what am I good at? And then also trying to think of longevity in the game. There's the people out there who take massive risks for tiny gains. And yeah, if you can manage it perfectly, maybe you'll do okay. But it seems like I want to be doing this when I'm 80, 90. Right? If they get the right drugs, maybe I'm 150 and I'm doing this. And Peter Bryan is always someone I use as an example, which is, if you haven't read The Unknown Market Wizards, you certainly should. This guy's just a legend in the game. This guy's in his 90s. Let's see if I can find him here. And he is a market wizard. And again, to be a market wizard, it's not just to be a market wizard, you just can't say, hey, I'm a good trader, right? Jack Schwager, who writes the Market Wizard books, he gets like audited financial statements. You are sure you are doing what you're doing and you're making what you're making. And this guy's been in the game. He's been trading for since 1975.
Wow. Yeah.
That'd be what?
50 years.
50 years of trading. And he's been doing that. And I'll just find a chart. He's a very old school, just futures, technical kind of swing trader. And he will be the first to tell you that none of this shit that he does is any magic.
Right.
He is just simply managing risk. And so he'll buy this breakout on soybeans that he's showing right here. And if it works, he'll make a butt ton of money. And if it doesn't, he'll lose a little tiny amount of money. And he's looking at all these things on like weekly charts. And he's like, he kind of talks about it that he will still be, he'll be trading until he dies. So he has his wife and his kids know how to access his trading account to flatten his position, move his cash around, because he's not scalping. He sits down on the weekends, and he's actually, funny enough, a pretty automated trader, because he's sitting down on the weekends, he's drawing his levels, he's setting his orders to say if it breaks here, whatever, and then he moves and he takes a couple minutes a day to look at things, and that's it. And that's how. So when I start thinking about becoming an old man, and how I'm going to end up staying in the market, it's just stuff like this. It's super simple, 2 moving averages, nothing fancy. And he's just looking at, he's a very, you call them like traditional technical patterns. So head and shoulders and base breakouts and this type of thing. And yeah, it works for him, not because there's any magic predictive insight there, but he's like, I catch a couple a year that are like, I always just talk about, because he's futures, but like the Coca chart is something that I always bring up. It's a perfect example of how commodities move, where nothing from 2016 till 2023, and you buy this breakout. Maybe you buy this breakout 3-4 times, you get little stop, and then boom, right, 300-400% rip gain
Yeah.
right out of it. And so he'll take those trades, and he'll take a couple 1% hits here or there, and then he gets one trade. He's got the wherewithal using just moving averages or something to stick with it as long as he can, and that's it. That's all he needs to do, get a couple of those a year.
Yeah. You get you a QM's play essentially on the end, like,
Yeah. And
Yeah.
like, hilarious to see him in crypto, even though he's such an old guy, because he's like, it's technically the same stuff he bought. I remember a bunch. He was kind of screaming about the buys on this breakout, and
Yeah.
so
that's what I want to do. I want to be trading when I'm 70, 80 years old, doing the same kind of thing, just trading forever. But yeah, what you've noticed through the years, you make it simpler and simpler on yourself. The longer you do this, like, you get to that point. I can't imagine how simple you make it, to where it must be very, you're going to lose and you know that, but it makes it so simple in your brain knowing you're going to lose, but you're going to win, and your winners so far outweigh your losers that you just keep doing it over and over and over, because you've been doing it for so long. That's 50. That's the longest. The longest I heard was Keith Fitzgerald, which is actually at the Money Show. He was the one that interviewed on that Saturday. Yeah, he said he's been doing it since 1980, 45 years, and I'm just like, wow, that's longer than I've been alive. That's a long, long time. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's great to see that it's possible to do it that long, and then how they did it. And he basically, when I was chatting with him, he just says every 10 years or so, my time frame just gets a little longer. And, I keep your account gets larger.
Yeah.
So, he's like, well, when I was a kid, a 20% gain wasn't enough to feed me and my family. He said now a 20% gain is more than most people will make in like 5 years, because I'm old now. My account's in the millions. So if he can make a 10% on a couple $1 million account, he's doing fantastic. So he's like, some part of it is that where you don't have to turn over your account as often to make as much money,
Right.
and then some of it is just that you're you're slower because you're getting older. So you're moving around a little slower. Your brain works a little slower. So you just, instead of giving up, or more importantly, continuing to think you can do the same thing you did back in the day, you just adapt.
Yeah. Adapting and adjusting is just one of the key things that you'll see here. That's the other thing too that I noticed a lot of traders over the years, they just can't find that ability to adapt and adjust, as the market shifts, from year to year, definitely from, trend to trend. And I noticed that too myself where I first started, of course, I'm in small caps, you're trading 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, maybe the 1 year, 1 day to find resistance support or something. But yeah, as now I've gone on and trade large caps, of course, using like the 15 minute or the hourly or 4 hour. And yeah, I can just see where I'm still trading still sometimes in that 135, slowly but surely it's those time frames are getting bigger, and trading those then makes it again. So it's funny when you said that, I was like, man, I'm doing that already. So yeah, I can see where, 10 years and then 20 years or 30 years down the line, those time frames just get a little bit more, expanded. Your trades get a little bit slower.
Yeah, your account gets a little bit larger, so you're totally cool with it, right?
Right.
Where you're okay with, hey, it's I'm okay with I'm okay with only looking at a daily chart now, because I don't need to make 1,000% return a year to make a good living. I only need to make a 20-30%, and then as your account gets larger and larger, you end up getting to the point where you've got too much money for it to be comfortable for it to be in an account. You kind of have to just go from there. So
Right. Good ball. Good job there, Paulo. A lot of shorts here over the last hour that I've noticed. Of course, reversals up top. We still waiting for CVU. I'm watching that on my side, but yeah, pretty much that's what we saw. MSAI got that reversal up top. SMR, you got one. SPY here, maybe even possibly it got one about 30 minutes ago now as well. That was another reversal up top. Here it comes yet again, Mr. Nas, as we're working our way back up to the 685s again. So what do we get that third touch breakout here? I say we stay channel bound still, like you overall in opening. I should say for pre-market levels. I don't think we get over pre-market high, unless maybe later in the day with earnings could push and pop that week. We'll see that then, but I think we found a range for the day, and I think we're here. I think this is it for in my opinion. I don't think we're getting outside of the range we built today.
I'm with you there. That's why I've got this line is a pre-market high, and this line is the I call it the J Pow low or
Okay.
something, whatever
Yeah.
you want to write the low from where this freak out occurred. I'm like, okay, we're probably hanging out there. We're probably in that kind of zone again, barring some sort of tweet about China or tweet about
Soybeans.
government shutdown or something. You know, there's going to be we're kind of probably there. We're
Yep,
there.
and that's right where a deviation. I have a deviation channel line right there, actually, almost right where your that line is. Your JPAL line is. So that's I'm right there with you with my lines, my man. So, but yeah, barring a soybeans tweet or whatever, or something goofy about China and tariffs or who knows what. Yeah, I think we're stuck for the day for now. So
And
what I was gonna say, what is that usually too for yourself, just for other traders? I like talking about this, which we'll talk about when I get you on my live stream. I just like talking about it now. So you cut it off, like, and even for like your trading, you don't even have to worry about it. That's what I'm saying. Like when you're done with this here in a minute, you go about your day and don't have to worry about anything really, right?
one day, it's and one thing I always try to dispel is that people think that I just go to the beach or something because I'm a assistant.
Yeah.
Your job is just different. My job, once I'm done, kind of the morning in particular, because the morning, even if I wasn't here, and that's one of the main reasons I am here, even if I wasn't here, I would be hanging out, kind of watching my bot, watching the market, doing all that kind of stuff, just to see, A, I need to open myself up to new ideas to trade, and B, I need to just be able to be here to make sure nothing breaks. So I'd be here anyway, but in the afternoon, where most people would be still watching the charts and all of that, it's not for me. So what I'm spending my time doing in the afternoons is coming up and building and testing new systems. I have a list of ideas that I have that is ever growing, which is to mean you can come up with an idea and they happen randomly, like most kind of inspiration hit. You can come up with an idea very, very quickly and out of the blue, but then it takes like weeks to build and back test and forward test and paper trade and blah, blah, blah. So I have a couple hours just set aside each day to, go to that list and grab a new idea and start testing it. And most of them will turn into nothing. I'll spend a couple hours on them and there's just no edge there to be had. And I move on with my day. And then every now and then something comes up. I'm like, oh, I think I might actually have something here. So it is it's that work that I think is super important. So you're never done. And then, of course, after the close, I've got some additional work where I have to reconcile. Here's what I did, and then here's what the bot should have done based off kind of the back tests and the system. And you reconcile that, and if there's any big differences, you got to go track them down. And so, yeah, that's one thing I always try to dispel is I think there's this whole, and it's because of the shitty marketing that we have in the space where people say stuff like, "Oh yeah, you build a bot and it trades for you, and you kick your feet up and you relax, and there's nothing to do." But the whole concept is that the more strategies you can add to your trading, the smoother your results in the long run. So I'm just always on the quest for that new system. And also, it's partly to kind of protect yourself because if you only have one thing that you do, well, there'll be long periods of time till that when that thing stops working, and there'll be times where that thing may stop working forever, and it just never makes it. That edge is just gone from the market, and you can no longer make money doing that. So to make sure that I'm never in that scenario, I'm always looking for the new idea. If I have 30 systems, well, it becomes much harder to have the edge completely gone from what I do because I have so many kind of uncorrelated and diversified edges. If I had one thing that I did, it becomes very easy to go, okay, that doesn't work anymore. Time to move on. I know a lot of people. There's a famous example where there's this one IPO trading strategy that made like 20% a year, fully automated trading back test. Let's see if I can find it, and this was it worked amazingly here for a very long time and then just stopped working because the market changed. We don't get nearly as many IPOs as we used to, right? So you can see this. This is the back test. And this is from the year 2000. A little bit. This is the uh, lost decade, so it didn't do well there. But other than that, the system did amazing. It just made money kind of year after year, and it started printing. And then in like 2021, with the whole SPAC mania and everything, we just don't get IPOs anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So, if this was your only trading strategy, during this period of time, you got to be able to sit there for like 4 years and not make any money. That would be fun. And then up here, you got to be questioning, is your system dead forever? Whereas if you had another system that complemented this one pretty well, then during this slow time, you're probably still making some money, and during this slow time, you're still so yeah, it's still a lot of work. It's an endless amount of work, just like any kind of trading. It's just different work, right? It's
Yeah.
not. I'm not trying to become a Buddhist monk anymore. I'm just what's the next system over and over and over again.
Yeah. And like, it's funny when you're talking about the edge of just kind of my analogies that always kind of pop up. And it's what you're kind of sharpening your blade, so to speak. Like you have knives and you want to keep them sharp and you always want to keep them sharp, but sometimes they'll get dull. And that edge may not, be as sharp as it used to be essentially and work as well, or stop working. And you may want to get rid of that knife and get a new one essentially. So love it. That essentially love. And that's what I do. I get that I do so many one-on-ones and going over trades. And so this ends up happening to myself. And I've said that where I get so busy doing that to where I then can't, come up with like that's what I love and can't wait to where you're at. You get that. And I've told trading like, no, you can't stop doing one-on-ones. You can't stop streaming. I'm like, listen, there's gonna be a time where I want to do what you're doing, where it gets to about 11 o'clock, it gets to noon, you take a break from the market for a little bit, but then you come back and do an hour or two of, because there are so many, I've said this to you recently, there's so many trends that I know I'm missing that they're working. You know what? Of course, I have my 4, 5, 6 that I can go back to that, depending on what's working, like you've talked about in the space that we're in, what's working, you've got to figure that out. Now you know what your edge is, and that's the edge, and it's working. And so I've got a few I can kind of cycle back through, but that's the one thing I look forward to doing is, getting to that more kind of where I feel like you're at. You've been doing it for long enough, and now you're in a relaxed state where you're just, finding, like you said, kind of the next best thing that's going to work. And and again, like I've told a lot of traders, you're going, at first, and of course I'm doing these one-on-ones, like you've got to think of it as you're working for SpaceX and you're in the lab essentially every day. And you're going to have a lot of, how many times did SpaceX, their rockets blew up before they ever even got one to take off and let alone land. Right. And so that's going to happen. You're going to have a lot of failures that don't work out, but eventually you're going to find the one that works. And then you can just rinse and repeat that over and over and over. And that's the journey of this, that you have to find that kind of mentality of like, I've got to go into the lab and spend a few hours in here and do some back testing, add a little or like your ingredients to cooking, a little too much salt that time. Whoa, way too much sugar that time, and you're trying to find that perfect ingredient, essentially panel.
Well, and the best time to do that work, and the time that is, I think, hardest for most people to do that work, is when everything's going great, right? And that's the problem that I think a lot of people have is they want to work on their systems and they want to build up new ideas and do all that, but when everything's going great, which again, right now in this, I've got one account that's up again like 167% this year. It's been an amazing year. This would be the easiest time, especially if I was a new trader, to say, hey man, I figured it out and I'm a genius and I don't need to do this anymore. And that will be the exact moment that the market will change and I don't have a system that's going to work in that current market and go from there. So yeah, you always start with one idea, and that idea hopefully starts, printing you some money and making you some money and things do well. And then when everything's going great and you're kind of on autopilot, that's when you really got to work, because you don't want to be coming from behind and saying, man, everything sucks right now. Let me try to build a system to start making money again, because then it's like negotiating from a point of weakness, right? You're not able to really kind of go with it. Whereas if it's, everything's going great and then you start moving, then you're able to do kind of much better, because you're like, okay, I don't need to be in a rush to build the new system because everything's working right now. I just want to do it while I can. Again, it's hard not to get lazy there, but a new tweet from Walter Bloomberg just came out. Trump administration agreed to delay the expanding of number of Chinese company on the Commerce Department's entry list for a year. I don't know what any of that means, but market doesn't seem to care, so I don't think.
Yeah.
Neither do I. But it's just it's like the one Twitter account that while during the trading day, I just turn on alerts for, because it's just the nature of the environment in which you gotta pay attention to the random tweet that's going to come and destroy things. And he hasn't tweeted all day. I don't know if he was up all night or something, or what's going on.
I just saw this too on Google. I don't know if today is the day, the official Pac-Man day. I don't really know, but you can on Google, I'll have that little icon when you go to google.com. You can actually play Pac-Man today on Google. So you click on it, it'll take us to the start game of Pac-Man, and you can play Pac-Man today on Google.
Ah, fancy.
Yeah, that's what I just did. I went over to Google to search something, and then that's the first thing I saw, and couldn't help. My brain could not help but click on the Pac-Man, and like, is this going to let me play Pac-Man? Oh, and it is. So there you go. I've got the Pac-Man 1-Up arcade over here. So I have those. You see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one.
Ew.
I've got
you don't remember? I've been in your house.
Yeah, I know. You've been creeping in me over here. You're watching me play.
Oh, that's a good. If I ever had the space for it, right? I used to have a dedicated office and a dedicated gym, and then like I had a full squat rack and a salt bike and the whole 9 yards. And then we just started having kids, and I just kept getting. And my gym and my office were in the same room for a while. I just keep getting kicked around. I feel like that dude from the Office Space, where they stopped paying him for a while, and they just kept putting him in the corner until he burnt the building down. That's kind of what's going on with me. He keeps saying, "Listen, we need more room, and you got to go."
Yeah, right. You got to start doing some of that. Well, then you get the kids, and they start getting stuff, and then it starts taking up more space. So, how many kids you guys? Is it 2?
2, yeah. We're done. We're done now.
I think all of you have. Well, hold on. How many does Mitch? Mitch has the twins. Are those his only 2 as well?
Yeah.
Wow. So and Kevin's got 2. So 2, 2, and 2 for you guys.
We're just doing our part to replace the population, right? We don't want to add to it. We don't want to subtract from it. We're just kind of keeping everything even keel, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And here I am with the 20 animals, just completely messing that up.
I know, you're just too much too far. We got the 2 dogs too, so we're doing a little bit of our part there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, I know there's obviously probably a lot of kids out there and homeless. I say in the what is it called in foster in foster care and such. But same thing for dogs. There's so many freaking animals that are in shelters or rescues that just need homes. So we did our part. We did our part. We're like you guys, Avery and myself. We loved it for a while, and let's get more, and let's keep adding. And when one would pass, let's go and let's add back. Let's get back to 14. And now we both look at each other going, what did we do? Why did we do this?
Yeah, that's enough. No, we do. We've got 2. One of them, both are kind of a rescue. One was a rescue as a puppy, though. Lady goes out to tender garden, and there's just 2 like real newborn puppies just in there, lying in the garden, right? So they obviously just kind of gave birth right there, and mom walked away, and she's like, "What the?" I was getting watering my petunias, and I didn't expect to see 2 mutts just lying in there. So yeah, it's definitely a good thing to do. They're the best kind of dogs too. It's just like the random mutts that have like 50 different kinds of dogs in them.
Right. Yeah. And those are usually the best dogs. Those are the ones that are just the nice, sweetest. They don't, they just want to be with you. There's no bad bone in their body. Usually, generally, those are the ones that just feed me. I'll lay here. I'm happy with life. You have saved me.
And my vet always loves them too. He said purebreds just get sick way more often because they're just so like inbred that you get the more the mutt, usually the lower the kind of health problems and health scares and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, funny how that works out. Yeah, the more we've had dogs, we found that out too as well. That those ones that just get bred over and over and over, and that's why the ones we ever got like from pack, like we've gotten Great Danes, they usually I find the ones that they only do like 2 or 3 litters at most. They're not, and they haven't done it through 20 different dogs over the years. And those are the ones where there's going to be something coming up when you see that. Like you said, you get those. We've got a couple of rescues that were like, what is this dog? Well, I don't really know. Like it's a lot of.
That's what everyone goes. What kind of dog's that? I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot.
He likes food and runs around a bunch. I don't know what it is. So
It's just like every other dog. Yeah, I have to clean his poop up, and he pees
yeah,
outside. Yeah, it's just a dog. Just a dog. Yeah, those are
yeah.
usually the good ones. Those hoity-toity breeded ones that definitely can either be yappy or yeah, it's yeah. Anyway, so I like the mutts. The mutts are the best. The best. The best.
We had a little triangle maybe going on here. I'm just trying to. There's just we are in. Even I was looking at some of the with the CVM. A lot of these crazy ones have just died out
Yeah.
as well. We are in just dead do nothing mode, and when you're in dead do nothing mode, make sure you do nothing. Which is what I think may have caused a little bit of frustration for our boy Mitch is that he was feeling good and he was trying to take a couple swings there and the market just wasn't doing anything for him. So good for him, right? You log off, you go kick rocks for a minute, you forget about it in a few minutes from now and you're good to go. But really, again, I look at this and I say, okay, Amazon, Apple, Coinbase, MicroStrategy, Reddit, and 27 other names. And these are only popular ones they've got kind of posted here. They're with this Rocket Mortgage.
Yeah.
All these companies, I just look at this and say, okay, with all of this going on and the kind of spook that we had yesterday with this FOMC nonsense, I think it's a good thing. And I would love to see, as frustrating as it would be for like my long term holdings, the ones that just have been going up all year, if we spent the next, let's draw out the zone, but if we spent the next couple weeks, say to like mid to end November, just inside this range right here, I think that's overall healthy. You just, you chill out. Well, thank you, Adblock. You just chill out inside this range. You just back and forth and consolidate whatever. And then end of the year, you've got that like nice Santa Claus rally. You get everyone, fed and feeling good after Thanksgiving and down there and all that. Maybe you break out then. You go from there. Again, overall, I think that's just a good, healthy move for the market.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it too, just when I look at the standpoint since since back in obviously that craziness in April,
Yeah.
we really haven't had much consolidation. Just looking back at overall in the SPY, like there's hasn't been that. So I think the couple times you've seen it, we've broken out. Like there's kind of May, June where we consolidated for a bit. We did it again in late June. We broke out again. So I like it. I think the same thing too. It's healthy for the market, for sure to have some sort of a sideways consolidation and let's get that squeeze up to new highs. But
Well, and that goes into our system stocks too, right? If we're just talking pure swing trading, if that is going to occur, I have like this LTM that got triggered today. This is a basic kind of momentum breakout system. You get a clear, real tight base, and you're looking to break out, and you're looking for it to continue over just a couple days. That kind of system is going to really suck in a market like that. And I also have another trade that got triggered by the bot today is Build-A-Bear Workshop. And this is a mean reversion setup. Right? This thing's been beaten up quite a bit. We're buying this bounce right here and then looking for a continuation higher after that. That system will probably do great. If you're going to be entering a range, you're going to want to be buying dips and selling rips and not buying breakouts. So it goes back to trying to, and there's some people out there that are systems traders, and they'll try to use their technical analysis just to predict kind of what market environment we're going to be in to try to figure out maybe to weight different systems. Maybe instead of splitting my money across the three systems evenly, maybe I'm going to put a little bit more money into mean reversion because I think we're going to be in a mean reversion environment, or a little bit less of my money into momentum, right? And then when we get in a momentum environment, kind of move that back. You could do that, right? It's, you're kind of messing with the back test a little bit there, but that's the kind of places where discretion, I think, makes sense. And if the market, in April, right, obviously, any time that you were chasing kind of mean reversion in this zone would have been bad until the very bottom where things just kind of ripped right through. So, yeah, if we are entering that zone, which I think we are, it should do well for day trading. I think you're just going to have to adapt a little bit and really trade that open. Take your money when you got it.
right.
Sell stuff and completely move on.
Yep, that's where it's at for me, especially for being a day trader that I am. That's it. It's that get that first move, get that first 30 minutes, first 10 minutes, wherever you're at, and find that range, take it. Like yesterday was a prime example for NVDA. Make your money, get in, get out of the trade. and let the movement happen of the next few hours, especially, that's where I feel at for sure. So Google, that's one I've definitely, I kind of, I had a feeling like a lot of these plays back, earlier this year, we're going to start seeing that rise, of course, with the SPY, but I never thought Google would see 300 as fast as it's saw it. But that just shows you the market we're in, where everything's faster and bigger, as we go on, throughout time here. These plays are like, just like going back to earnings. When I first started, earnings wasn't a thing, usually it was like 2018, 2017, when I first started trading, you would just sit on your hands, like, don't trade earnings. And it was still kind of the same thought now, but it just, the moves we see now, my man, it is
Oh
crazy.
yeah. Oh, way, way bigger. But yeah, this to me would be because our right now, what kind of is worrying me about this one is the open of the day is the high. Those are the like exact same price, meaning people just sold off the open. But we end up turning around and breaking through that. That might be the thing that the market needs to get going. But I'm kind of with you where I think this is probably it for the day. We're probably just gonna slop around a bit for the.
I mean, to see the Google, the sell off, the pushback, and then for the last hour and a half, we've just set out to the right.
Yeah,
Everyone just sitting and waiting for Apple later for the most part.
waiting for the next one. All right, man. So listen, you got to close up the last little half hour or so. If
Yeah.
things continue to remain dead, feel free to
Cool.
call it early a little bit and go get ready, get your costume on and prepared for tomorrow.
Yeah.
But super cool hanging out with you. Go back to your screen, make sure this works before all that. Awesome.
All right, brother. Well, have a good day. Have a good weekend with the kiddos. You enjoy, and tell your son before tomorrow. Talk him up. Get him a little. Get him
Oh,
talk.
man,
You got this.
like you can do it this year. You can do it.
Got it. You got it. And then say, hey, and afterward, if he fails, you know what? You always got next year, buddy. You always got next year.
Well, so I'm worried. This guy goes so crazy that like I'm worried he's gonna scare the crap out of me when I'm walking down with him, and then it'll be all over for the kid. If he gets me, I can't expect a 3-year-old to carry through if I'm the guy who's jumping.
Yeah.
So got all this animatronic stuff like jumps up and like so then you're looking like half of it moves and half of it doesn't.
Does it right? Yeah.
You don't know which one, so you're eyeballing all of them to see which one's gonna jump out at you. But
Right. Yeah. You're gonna have to give yourself a little pep talk in the mirror before you leave.
yeah, a little liquid courage maybe before I go. Too.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Right, buddy. I'll see you next week, man.
See you, bud. Have a good one. All right. Always fun talking with those guys. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah. We'll rock it out here to the top of the hour. See if it anything to trade. Paula, going back to you. Great. I called this out actually. If you rewind the stream, darn it. It was talking about that 420, 415 area. If you go back when I first joined the stream, I'll make CVU the bigger chart right here so you guys can see what I'm looking at on CVU. Let's go over here. There we go. Boom, bam, boom. Let's go to CVU here. And we'll go back to I'll show the 1 minute, give a little more depth of chart, kind of get that magnifying glass to zoom in a little bit. Fail. That's where I really felt this was going to get to. You see that a lot of the time in these small cap plays. I think traders on CR Trader and some others, King Lion, Love Chips. I'm on my Discord there. I don't know if they're over on kind of glancing over on the chat today with TTP. I'm sure they have it up in the background, so calling you guys out. That was the area. That was it, though. That was the short. It was, and that's maybe if you remember, I said going in short there with the risk and your stop being up here, so you can have that as your risk area, knowing that it could easily fail there as well. Beautiful short, and that's what we've had over the past hour. Really, just reversals. Whatever you got in MSAI, cores here, a little bit of a pop up. Really lower volume, kind of volume spurts breaking here and there. SMR, another great short we talked about there from SPY. And we talked about that as it was popping up. Like, oh, what do we got here, Mike? What do we got, Mr. Nas? Michael was all over it. We're in this little triangle. You can put a little trend line in right there. You got the top resistance line in, of course, running into my deviation channel line. And I think we stay stuck in this deviation channel with the top being right around 685.50 and the bottom being 682.50. Although I don't know if we get back down here. Now, maybe we do as we crack here the lower high pattern. If we break back through 683.75, that pattern truly is broken. In that point, we could possibly see a bigger rug pull down. But again, when I say rug pull, today we are really, in my opinion, kind of trapped in the levels that we are created. Any stocks, anything you guys want to go over? We're not going to do the call-in show today. So if you have any questions, any stocks you guys want to go over, I'm here with you for the next 25 minutes. Tack, how you doing, brother? We usually handle earnings a few weeks out. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly. Yeah, Mr. Michael Nuss, that was awesome. Of course, going a little bit longer with me today. I appreciate that. Love talking with him. And then just so you guys know, teasing that, yep, tomorrow, join my live stream. So follow me here on YouTube tomorrow. I will be live free all day long. I'll have one of my top traders, CR Trader, joining me to start the day. Ellie, you can come here. Hello. You want to go? Oh, no, it's Petey. Petey's coming in. I'm like, what dog is coming in? All the different pack here. Let me actually make sure they're good. You good, Petey? Let me make sure they haven't done anything. Hold on a sec here. You good, buddy? You good? Y'all say, no, you're good. You're good. I'm just checking. I'm just checking. We're going to shut the door for now. Shut the door for now. Yeah, running solo here. But tomorrow, live stream all day. CR Trader will join me at the start of the day, pre-market into the opening bell. Take a little bit of a 30-minute break from after he's done. I say a break, but I'm still on the live stream. You know, my point being from having other traders on. So CR Trader joins me to start the day tomorrow. Then 30 minutes on my own or so, and then I'll get the roundtable up. So that's when Kevin Avery will join me. Some of my other top traders that I've had that stream live, you know, again, like Michael Noss, like Money Mitch. These guys have streamed live. They've been trading for years, and they have their own trading style. And I want you guys to learn and see that. You know, it's not all about what I'm doing or what, you know, when I'm streaming live, that's usually what your streamer you're looking at. You're following that person, and they have their own set of rules and how they trade and what they're looking for, etc. I want to open your eyes and your ears to a lot of other traders. I think that's a good idea, and to share what other traders are doing. And then, so essentially every Friday I'll have a trader on. Like tomorrow I'll have CR Trader on. You know, last Friday I don't think I had anybody on, if I'm not mistaken. So last 2 Fridays were bare, but I've had multiple traders on over the last few Fridays. And my point and goal, like I was telling Nas, was every Friday I'll have a streamer trader on with me. And then at the end of the month, that last Friday of the month, I'll have those streamers back on to do a roundtable. So like my goal for November, as I said, have, you know, Money Mitch on, have Michael Noss on, get Michael Katz on as well, the CEO. And then the last Friday of the month, which would be the 4th Friday of November, have a roundtable with those guys on. And then do the same thing in December. Have traders on every Friday, the last Friday of the month, have them all back on. So join me live tomorrow. Of course, I'm here on Tuesday and Thursdays with these guys, and you got to be joining them every, you know, Monday through Thursday. If you don't have another stream to watch, you know, the Trader TV is pretty cool. Love those guys. You know, we got to join them a couple of weeks ago in Toronto. I say we, but, you know, Money Mitch, Michael Katz, Gil, fun time up there in Toronto. But this is great information every day. Such an honor and privilege to be able to join Trade the Pool and be a part of the team now. I love some pink. Got a lot of love about the pink in Orlando. Everyone loved our colors. So love to rock the colors, the brand. Again, such a great platform for you guys. You know, they don't, especially at least the traders that I've been around, you know, over the last 7-8 years of my journey, most don't have the capital. You know, most don't have 50,000, 20,000, even 5,000 in their trading account. You know, they're very limited on what they can trade, how often they can trade, shorting, etc. Becomes a burden. And not only you can't trade, you have this burden set on your shoulders, and now it starts affecting your brain. You can't trade properly or really effectively because now your brain's getting clouded. Like I was just saying earlier, I'm already, SMR is my last trade of the day. I was going to actually trade CVU2, but I you know, when I have that Halloween, I want to have fun mentality, etc. It's beautiful out today, gorgeous weekend ahead, low temperatures. Let's get some good winter cooking going on and stuff. Brain starts moving away from trading. I know, don't trade. You know, let's not worry about that. So your brain's clouded. I can notice that, and then I know not to trade or not to go heavy or whatever the case may be. And so you guys, that's what happens early on. You know, you have a $2,000, $3,000 account or a $7,000, $8,000 account. I can't do this. I'm limited on my trades. And you take some losses too, probably obviously early on, usually sometimes bigger than the wins are. And now your account's even lower. It's where we come in at Trade the Pool. Don't have to risk your capital. All your hard-earned money that you've worked for, saved up. That's so fun. That's a cat trying to come in if you see the office door opening. You can come in if you want to, Doc. I know. Yes. And it's funny. They know Dad. I kind of turn around and look at him. He's like, is it okay for me to come in? Nice, good pullback right here. Again, just talked about it. Higher low pattern has now broken. That uptrend channel that Mr. Noss had in. That trend line is now cracked. Seeing some decent pullbacks here and trend cracks today as well. And really over the past hour across the board from large caps to small caps, you know, you're getting your cores to pull back. This is why I shut the door. It's just one of those. Margot, lay over there with your sister. Go lay down. Good girl. Very, very good, smart dogs, though. I love my babies. Any questions you guys have? Anything? My cat would not talk. He would just lie on my keyboard. Oh, yeah. My cat's talk. Doc, Not so much Lilu. Doc will talk. Like I can literally talk to Doc. Like if he comes in here, he'll meow. I'm like, yeah, and he'll meow back at me. I'm like, yeah, and I'll just have random conversations with him. I'm like, what time tonight? Where are we going? Like he's actually saying something, but he's not. I'm just filling in the conversation. He's like, meow. I'm like, what time? Meow. I'm like, all right, sounds good. What are we gonna wear? Meow. Especially if I start talking food, because they know the terminology. Even he does. Like, boy, I go into the kitchen. It's it's ridiculous. If I walk in the kitchen, dogs are following me. Doc is like a dog. He's a cat, but he's following me. House dogs are the outside dogs. What? There you go. The dog. Oh, that's so funny. Dog. Yeah, my dogs are super smart. My dogs are too smart. My dogs are too smart. Way too smart. Like they know. Like watch this. You ready? I'm gonna move the water. I have a water bowl in here. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. We're gonna wrap things up. All right, now it's usually when I say all right, they're like, oh, they'll start getting up. Oh, here's one. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bang-a-rang! Nothing today? Well, usually I can say verbiage that I would just say when I'm going live. And then, like, it's the worst around 2:00. It's like power hour when my stream's done for the day. I wrap, I have a certain verbiage I guess I use when I wrap things up. These are, they're right on up. They're in my face. So, yeah, let's go. Dad's almost done. I mean, I can use these words. All right, let's go outside. Let's go pop, 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 pop. Let's go. Let's go outside. I guess because the door's shut, possibly. They are word driven. It sometimes gets annoying with me and Avery because we can't say certain things because we'll say it and we like have to like use code words sometimes. And nobody messes with the cat. Yeah, nobody messes with my cat. With the two cats we have, even like we have the little dog. Our dogs don't mess with each other. They're all fam. They all lay together. I wish everyone was in here. We have a few dogs in here right now, but yeah, usually it's they're all laying together. They get fed together. I'll raise my voice. I mean, I'm not. Trust me, I am not shy to, which you probably saw when I muted my mic when Michael Noss was talking earlier. You probably saw me turned around. I live by Air Force Base, really close by. It's a few miles away, but I live close enough to where they're testing and doing stuff. Every once in a while, I don't even know what they're testing, but you hear an explosion. You'll hear explosions, and they're loud, and it shakes the house a little bit. Well, that happened. That's why. Anyway, so we had the Danes just nonstop barking their asses off a few minutes ago, and so I'm like, guys, shut the. And I would come. Hey, they're like kids, and I give them that look. Sit. See, like that. Sit your ass down now. And yes, sir. yes, Dad. So I got this free challenge account. Okay, on the call show last week, it's $5K account with a profit target $300. What do I get? What do I get once I reach 300? Well, you'll get the funded account. So Reese, once you make your profit, you'll get an email too, and your account will show that. Like, congratulations. It'll say you have passed the challenge. I've seen the picture here recently. Michael Noss actually just got a funded account. I need to get more of them. I just stayed put. I haven't gotten one in a while. I need to try to do another one. I actually should do that soon. Do an eval like on my live stream, pass it with you guys, show you what it's like. But once you get the $300 and you've got the 300 and you say you've made, you're up to $5,450, then boom, you're going to get an email and your account's going to say, hey, like on your dashboard. Your dashboard will show you, essentially you'll get an email. It takes 24 to 48 hours. For the team to process to make sure everything looks good, that you actually did pass it, and that there weren't any glitches or something in the system. And then you'll get the funded account. You'll get the funded account where you can trade with 5K. Don't say the word hungry. Yeah, exactly. Hung. Yeah, we say hung. That's what we have to label it down from hungry to hung. You hung? Cook? Look, watch. You ready? Watch Margo. Y'all ready for this? You hung? You want cook? Look at her. Look at her head. Look at that head over there. Oh, here it is. Sorry. You hung? You want cook? You hungry? Who's hungry? Who's your cookies? Who's your prettiest girl? No, okay, you're good. You're good. Love Margo. Her reaction. She's got one of the best reaction faces for sure. She definitely, her ears and tilts that head. I love you. Such a pretty girl. But yeah, exactly. Yes. I feel you there, that on Reese. All right, any stocks, any charts you guys want me to break down? Any tickers at all? Last 14 minutes here of the live stream. Got a little dog talk in. These guys are just great guys. Great fam. Good kiddos. They all listen pretty well. Singa bounce from 284. Nice. Good move there today. Nice move there. Earnings. That's what it was. I had to look it up for CI. Earnings yesterday. And that actually is moving today pretty decently. CI is moving pretty nicely. I'll get rid of SMR. Again, with this trade from earlier team, I'll go over it real quickly. Love SMR. You know, when I see this on my chart, when I put lines in and they're working, thank you again, Money Mitch. I know he didn't have a great day. And again, overall, SMR maybe didn't treat him as well as it treated me. But when I put lines in, I'll just go back to the 5 minute here. I mean, look at that. Boom, 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 boom. 1, 2, 3 fell. Yesterday fell. And when we're failing, we're coming back really nicely. Like this was easy to trade here on, say easy. I don't want to ever say easy in stock trading. Usually don't want to say that together. I know. Usually you're going to no, Josh, don't say that. But this is easy. This is when stock trading, I guess, at least is easier, right? We can put lines in and we trade them. This is why I would say put your lines in and trade them. So when I see fell, running that gorgeous channel as we saw there on Tuesday, then I came in, you know, of course, earlier, Money Mitch talks about this trade. And I see this beautiful reversal right here from, you know, and we're getting good reversals too, back to that, right? We're going from, we'll call it 44.20, 44.50, all the way back down to 42.50. You know, it's a $2 reversal, $2 reversal, $2+ reversal. Same thing here, $2+ reversal. So if I see that, I know today we're going to get $1. Easy, in my opinion. Probably maybe more, but at least $1. I don't know we're going to get 2 again, but I know we'll get $1 out of it. I love it. I love it. Just wait for it to pop into that line with some validity, some decent volume here. It's good big size candles on the 2, 3, 4, 5 minute time frame, whatever one you're using there. Gorgeous. Absolutely money. Talk about Money Mitch. Money AK-47, Money SMR. Beautiful short right there. Absolutely love that SMR trade right there. So SMR, gorgeous. That's why I say put your lines in and trade them. That's one of my favorite plays right there here recently is SMR. And really even kind of got a bounce off the 42.50 line once we broke above it. That's why I was looking for a bounce back off of it. And it didn't. It came to right here. I was hoping maybe we'd form a little head and shoulders potentially, regardless, trying to get that bounce back up. It squeezed up. So that's what I was saying earlier on the live stream. Either you're looking for a bounce on this line or a short at that line. And that's how easy, going back to, I forgot the name that Michael Noss brought up there. Let's go back here. Who was this guy Noss was talking about there for a minute? I know Noss was talking about a really good trader. Let's go back here in time. Do you remember? There he is. What's this guy's name? Peter Brandt. Peter Brandt been doing it for 50 years. Jiminy Christmas. That's a long time. That's what you got to do. Medicine. Yes, exactly. Hims. Was Hims good today? Was Hims a good chart today? CI, we'll put that on watch. Nice big move from reversal down. Hims, is Hims moving? Hims is another one that we've been liking here recently. Okay, moving on down. Does have this low of day that it's about to try to bounce off of here, potentially at 45.75. We're at it right now. I would be looking for a short on this play, honestly, in continuation down, just looking at the chart, then looking at levels here. Not a lot of support at that area. This play definitely seems to reek of more short NATO, in my opinion. I would see Hims down to, this is make or break. And I feel like we're going down. You have to go back here into September, August to find levels. When you have to do that, a lot of traders are kind of confused on where the line's going to come in at. Usually bodies of the candle become more of the soak zone to me, more of the demand zone on the way down. So our first body of candle we run into is right there. And the close of that day, or the open of that candle is 45.60. So 45.60 does not hold. We're all the way down to 45 at that point. So 45.60, and then we'll go with 45. If 45.60 does not hold there, you go Larry. It's my dad's middle name. It's Larry. She's smart. Who's smart? Oh, yeah, L, my other name, but no, Domino. Or Margot. Domino, I have so many female Great Danes. We got L, we've got Domino, we've got Margot. Domino and Margot are actual true sisters. They have the same mom. Love my girls. Love my girls. Love my girls. I love my boys though too. Love them all. But yeah, she's definitely smart, Derek. Even Tesla, yeah, Tesla is not too bad. Tesla looks like it could continue on down there. I think you were talking about that to the short side, and it did go down for more. Good job there, Tack. Yeah, that had that bear flag look on it. Let's get rid of CVU. That's pretty ugly at this point. Right there, Tack was talking about this earlier. It was in this beautiful bear flag. I love this. I call it a boot heel kind of look to it, right? So I love this little small H pattern. Again, J Trades, who I'll have on tomorrow on the round table. A great trader. He was on a dual stream Friday not too long ago, so he'll be on tomorrow. Calls it the H pattern. You know, I love these H patterns, these bear flags that have this little boot heel into it. Yeah, that's a money sauce written all over it. Generally speaking, you're going to get the crack of it 8 out of 10 times, 9 out of 10 times when you're what I call tiered down, levels down, bounce levels below the VWAP. So we have one bounce below the VWAP, our second bounce, now our third bounce below the VWAP. When you crack your third, I mean, who's wanting to buy that? No one wants to buy that trash at this point. It's going to go down more. What do you think about Meta? Meta as a company as a whole, I love Meta. I think Meta is going to continue to climb it, and I'm sure Meta at one point, unless it does reverse splits, we'll see $1,000 for sure. Probably next year, most likely. Did have a big reversal off the earnings, but I like Meta. I don't think this play is going anywhere anytime soon. Just had big earnings. When it was up last time, it was down this time. I talked about this yesterday before I did my morning alerts and levels. When I said last time, this went up a good $70, $80. I said this time 50 would be about as much as we moved. Well, no, I'm wrong. We actually did just like we did last time. It had about an 80, almost now $100 move. It just is one of those tickers that after earnings, it can freaking go. It can move. I think this play, again, probably pushes itself right back on up to the 700s. I would not be again surprised if we see 1,000 by, like, say, end of next year, sometime this time next year. But I like Meta. Now, again, as far as the day is concerned, I think she's out flat. You know, I don't think there is some movement today, but kind of like Nas was saying with SPY and overall, I just think the market, most of these tickers are stuck in their channel, their range that they built for the day, with this being around 655, the top being around 670. Now, maybe we make our way back up to this last valiant attempt to 680 and this pop right before the bell. But in my opinion, we're stuck at this 680, 675 mark, somewhere in here. We don't get any higher than that today. Now, again, pushing through back to, say, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, this is a huge pool. This is a lot of people that have millions of billions of dollars are just loving this, and they're buying more and more and more in Meta. Why? Because it's down to freaking $100 in a 12-hour, 24-hour period. Traders love that. Big guys love this, and so no lie, by next week, Meta is going to be back to. I say next week, could be Monday or Tuesday. We still have earnings later today and what can happen tomorrow, and we finally get a little freed up from this 2-3 day stretch of oh boy, right? 700 seems to be a magnet for this play, and back up to these three lines that I have. Josh, can you post the link to your YouTube? Yeah, here we go. I'll get my YouTube link out there for you guys. And here's my channel. So put that out there for you guys. Again, give me some follows, go subscribe, do all the good stuff right there. Should be out there right now from Trade the Pool. I put that over on so there's Trade the Pool. Luckily, I can be Trade the Pool for the day. And there you go. And again, I have a lot over on my YouTube. It's a lot of information. One thing a lot of traders don't utilize is the search bar. Use the search bar. If you're looking for bounce plays, not counts plays, not counts. We don't want to counts. We don't want to counts anything. We want bounces. We want resistance, or you can just type in RES, or maybe you do have to type in resistance. Resistance. Maybe you do have to type it in. If you want to look up charting and my charting lessons, and a lot of different charting lessons on here, right? Just go over the video tab and just start searching away here, right? I just posted this yesterday. I'll put this out there for you guys right now. This is me and Kevin here talking. And this is Kevin, of course, with the Hangover. So I've got my live stream access here. So the streams that were live and over the years and months that I've done them, of course, Thinkorswim likes to come in and knock some of these out. I don't know if you can watch all of them because I played some music or something of some sort. But yeah, got a lot of good information over on my YouTube. Lots and lots and lots of videos over on the YouTube. And here is that. I know. Hold on a sec, Margo. I'm almost done. There's that link with Kevin Avery and myself. And that's Kevin going over his hangover strategy. So that's all about Kevin and his hangover strategy right there. And you got it, Larry. Larry said, what about hymns? Oh, there's that bounce, 43, 45, 60. So there's that 45, 60 line coming in. We found it. And that's just how I use charting. I mean, I could sit here and break down 100 plays for you guys, honestly. Love to break down charts. That's something like, if there's any ever a chart, a ticker you're looking at, you may be confused about, or you don't know where to put lines at, or where to find lines and find history on where to put the lines, essentially. That's all I think that's one of the main reasons why Mr. Katz and Trade the Pool pulled me over here. Was it just, you pull up a chart, doesn't matter if it's a $1, it's $100, 300, 500. Boy, I love breaking down some charts, and I'm usually pretty generally good at it. And that's what I love to do. Don't have a lot, can't trade every different style out there, right? It's not like I'm the best there is at all these other different things, but that's the one thing I've said for years when I was, if you've watched me throughout the years, like I jokingly, because not everyone's ever going to hear of me, but I said, I want to be the best charter ever. Coming from sports, or always that talk of who's the GOAT, who's the best at this, who's the best ever at that. So, that's the one thing I want to get into. I may not be known as made the most ever, but I would love to have like this underground cult following of like, oh, you haven't heard of AK-47? Oh, you haven't heard of Josh Smith? Man, this guy can really chart, man. You just pull up a chart and he'll break it down for you. That's where I kind of told myself years ago, like earlier, before I was streaming today, I was just relaxing, usually watching motivational video. It was Michael Jordan, and it was the recent talk about load management, and I just love to hear him talk his passion, his energy. He's so focused. That's where I wanted to get. I was like, I wanted to get to this level of such concentration that, then watching Tiger Woods, in his little 10-year stretch, 15-year stretch, he had complete master of concentration, so poised under pressure. That post that Trade the Pool just put out, that was absolutely, it was awesome. I don't know if they put it on YouTube. I know it was on Instagram. I think it's only on Instagram. I'll go over there real quickly. But getting to that point of, not having to think when you're trading, you're just, because you're going to lose, there's going to be times you're going to win, all that kind of stuff, right? Let's trade discipline. Here we go. So let's watch this real quickly. This is from Trade the Pool on their YouTube or Instagram. So go follow them on their Instagram. Come on, peeps. Let's go follow Trade the Pool. It was just from yesterday, right? So this is a little. Boom. And that's just how you do it, right? And was it that easy at first? Well, no. I mean, it wasn't at all. It was definitely not easy to begin with. But just over time, mastering that. There goes another explosion, actually, at the Air Force Base. So loud. It shakes the house. So yeah, it's just one of those things that you don't have at first, and you find that edge and you build it up, and you get to that level of concentration and discipline. But it goes back to that, and seeing players like Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods, and of course, Kobe after that. I was, a huge Kobe fan, but I know he had that, but those are my GOATs, Tiger and Michael. And that level of concentration they got to was just nasty. It's crazy. So it's just crazy. And the discipline. So if you can get that down, you'll get stock trading. You'll be fine. But if you can't, you have the issues with that, and you can't stay poised or concentrate, and under pressure, and the stocks. I don't care when a stock's moving. I don't like, you just saw that in that trade. I was just like, here's my trade. Here's what I'm doing. got to make it as robotic as possible. And if you can't, that's where I'll interview him, and I know he does as much as he can, but that's where you turn to like Michael Noss, and you get your bots going. Find what works. I've said this throughout years. J-Web, oh, John, let's go get a drink at the bar after I get off here, John. But how many times have I said throughout the years, put your lines in and trade them? I said this on the stream today. Put your lines in and trade them. Again, going back to even the beautiful easy short. I say easy, but because I say it because the line was there to told me to short. But as J-Web infamously said, Josh, AK, I can put my lines in. I just can't trade them. You do this long enough, you'll eventually see what is working, what lines work, where resistance support is, where you should go long and where you should go short. But then your brain malfunctions. Like I said, like you talked about, we're not really born and raised and trained as humans to do this. And so that's where you just have to kind of set aside the big ego you may have, the pride of you have to do it. You don't have to do it. You don't have to click the button. I'm literally, how easy would it be if you could just sit back and let it trade for you? No sound, we can't hear. I couldn't hear it. Couldn't hear it. Dang it. Okay, well, I'll put the link out there. All right. Let me put the link out there for you guys. You can still hear me though, right? You just can't hear the you couldn't hear the Instagram video that I had up. Is that what y'all were saying essentially? Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's get that link out there for you guys. Go like this. Go. Hey, this got 20 likes, man. Hey, the more likes this post gets, the more posts they'll post of me. So go over and like and comment. Go like and comment there on Trade the Pool. Go like and comment that. There you go. Go like that. Go comment. I appreciate it. I know Trade the Pool would appreciate it too. SMR, another short around 43.40, Paula. Oh, the crack of it, Paula, was that what you were saying? Yes, I would say the crack of it's fine. Oh, and take this down if we get below this 43 mark right here, Paula, and the VWAP, of course, now finally rolling up with this play. Watch for a move down to 42.50, 42.45 area once we crack through that VWAP. Jammin' stock. Yep, cool. Making sure. Jammin', what's up, Jammin' stock? How you doing, brother or sister? I know we got at least one sister in the chat today with Paula. Big Mark, yeah, go watch that. I'll go put this over on my Discord too. Go. There we go. That's how pros trade, with the plan, not emotion. That's literally the caption that they have for that post right there. Absolutely love it. I mean, that's how pros trade, with the plan, not emotion. Get funded, trade up to 200K of your own capital, or our capital. It could be your capital, essentially. Stock and roll, baby. Stock and roll. Yeah, go like that. Go comment. I would appreciate that. Any last questions you guys have? I always in that for sure. Always. Any last questions? Anything you want to go over? Any comments to get better? Anything you'd like for me to do more of or less of? Please put that out there. I'm willing to take advice. I used to be a very arrogant, not thinking cared what others thought. I'm just kidding. But no, when I was younger, I didn't really care about taking. I was like, no, I'm right. Like, no, I like to listen to other people now. I freaking love it. I absolutely love listening to you guys and getting information and feedback. Anything right now, team, before we call it a day? Any last questions? Any comments? Anything you guys want to go over? I'm here for you. Otherwise, you guys have a great, safe, blessed, more pets. More pets. Okay. Here they are right now. They're sleeping away. They're being good doggies over here. So there they are right now. There's Rue in the corner. We've got Petey, the pit bull. We got Merlin, the Great Dane. And then, of course, Margot back there, the spotted one. And then we have Neville over here sleeping right here. So we got a few in here today. Not all of them, but we got a few in here. Today. No, appreciate you guys. Thank you, Paula, Derek. Thanks. Yes. Appreciate it. Him's 45.60. Yes, sir. We called it. I don't know if you got a bounce play there, but you could have. That was a great bounce play. We just hit it again. We just hit the same number, 43.63. Yeah. I don't know why it's showing low because that's the same low as earlier, but you got it, Larry. That's what I'm here for. Here for you guys. Just think of it as like a genie watching some weird, the Creep Show, right? On AMC was on the other day. It was like this. The episode was weird. The guy was it was kind of actually a good episode. Some of those were weird and dumb, but this one was good. A little quick. If you remember the Creep Show, quick little 15, 30-minute stories. Guy was at the airport, gets his luggage, thinks it's his bag, gets home, hearing noises out of it, thinks it's his roommate giving him a hard time or playing a prank on him, starts to walk upstairs and realizes that it's not him and the voice is coming out of the bag. Opens the bag, it's a guy like all like mushed in there. I think it's like mafia or something. He's like, guys, like, help me, blah, blah, blah. I forgot what he says. And he realizes because he drops the bag or something and the guy spits out a gold coin. And then the guy in the bag says, yeah, it's a curse. Every time I feel pain, I spit out gold coins. Well, he tells his buddy, and his buddy figures it out, throws him like down the stairs, and now just he's just gold, 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 gold. Well, he kept doing it. And then got his girlfriend involved. Now they're just torturing this guy in the bag and just getting his mother. Like, and then finally there comes the day, the original guy that got the bag was like, guys, we got to stop doing this. Like, I feel bad. Like, we've got enough. Have we not got enough gold from him already? And the girlfriend knocks him over, hits like he's about to leave. The boyfriend or whatever, the original guy that got the bag had enough. He's going to go call the cops or do something. He's about to do something. The girlfriend whacks him over the head with some like metal bar, not trying to kill him, but kills him. And then the best friend, the buddy, was like, they kind of get these evil eyes, like, yeah, now let's go torture the guy. Now, not only you just killed somebody, but let's go torture this guy some more that's in the bag and get more gold coins. Well, right as they go to do that, and they hit like I don't know whatever they're going to torture him. Well, now all of a sudden becomes a genie, and that's it's kind of like oh, this makes sense now. And then he put them in suitcases, and he got out of anyway. It was kind of a cool story. But just think of me that. That's why it popped in my head. Just think of me as a genie in a bottle. You just guys come over here and just rub the genie, the little lamp, the bottle, whatever. I'll come out, grant you a wish. Awesome. Meta off 650. Yep, Meta's still rolling. It actually is getting that bigger move there. That 655 mark. And like I said, 675 is now hit. We'll see if this moves back up to 680 there. But Meta, nice, good move up. Like I said, I would not be surprised if Meta sees its back to 700 by early next week, Monday, Tuesday. Again, thank you guys for the day. Derek, Paula, Larry, Tack. From earlier, we got Big Mart, Jammin', Mr. Stocks, Ingrid, Miss Aussie Chick. Appreciate you showing up, gorgeous. Reese, my man, Mr. Free Challenge winner last week. Didn't do the call-in show today. Probably could have just ran it by myself for you guys to call in. I'm going to call it a break for myself. Been yapping it up all morning for the past 4 hours. But again, thank you guys for having this stream up today. FJF from earlier, Paula, Reese, all you guys, Tack still from earlier, going back. Steph already stepped out. Jay Webb from earlier, all the traders, Chase Gordon, of course, the guy that won the challenge with you, or won the trade the pool challenge, Scotty S for joining today. Again, thank you for each and every one of you. Don't forget tomorrow, join me on my YouTube. We'll roll the last quick little pop of that. Go follow me on Instagram if you don't follow me on Instagram. Here, I'll put that link out there as well. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, there is Josh Smith Trades. Here I am. So I'll put that out there. Go follow Trade the Pool. I have that link out there in that post I just put. Go follow Trade the Pool. Smash some like button. Smash that follow button. Same thing. Josh Smith Trades. Go follow me on Instagram. Go smash those like buttons. Plenty of lessons and videos on Instagram. And of course, you can keep up with the dogs, with the cats, with all the food that I have and I'm doing, the family life on Instagram. And last but not least, follow us here on YouTube. Follow Trade the Pool. Smash that like button today if you enjoyed the live stream. We'd appreciate it for sure. See you next Tuesday and Thursday with these guys. Of course, they'll be back live on Monday, rocking and rolling after a great Halloween holiday weekend. Tomorrow, though, speaking of Halloween, I am live. I know these guys will be off tomorrow. That's where you follow me on YouTube. Subscribe. Get the notifications when I am live, because I'll be live tomorrow in pre-market, going over small cap trades, going long, going short. We had both of those today, actually, in small caps from CMBM and likes of others as well that ran today. We went long and we went short. I'll have CR Trader joining me tomorrow. He's great at shorting the top. Give you some great information on that dual stream Friday. Then work ourselves into giveaways tomorrow. We got giveaways. I'm giving away this. Check it out. Funded Trader's Secret Sauce. I'll be giving away a couple of these tomorrow from Trade the Pool. And from my website where I stream live, have morning alerts. I'm giving away morning alerts tomorrow. I'm giving away some one-on-one, some freebies. I'm giving away 1 month free of my live stream tomorrow. Then you're going to have Kevin Avery. You're going to have J Trades. All these other great traders join me on the roundtable discussion. So join me on Fridays. Dual stream Fridays, roundtable discussions. And of course, tomorrow for Halloween, it's trick or treats. And we're giving out treats, baby. No tricks for you. That's right. No tricks, just treats tomorrow with giveaways and freebies. So come join my live stream. Plenty of stock trading information from pre-market onward and giveaways and freebies. Next Friday, I'll look to have Michael Noss on. The Friday after, Money Mitch. The Friday after that, Michael Katz, or however I can line those guys up. And then the last Friday of November, we'll do a roundtable discussion with those 3 beautiful specimen of men from Trade the Pool. So you guys have a great one. I'll see you back here next Tuesday. Hopefully, I will see you all tomorrow, or I guess you will be seeing me on the live stream for the dual stream Friday. And of course, the roundtable discussion with goodies and the free treats for tomorrow. Let's see if we can't close up the shop. Here comes the outro. You guys have a great, safe, blessed, food-filled holiday, Halloween, Friday weekend. And you better come over to the spooky dual stream end of the month roundtable discussion Friday stream tomorrow on my YouTube. See you.